that
Weird
is
having
suitable.
JB Hi-Fi ads on our stream.
Welcome to Wobbly Player Syndrome. We are live, Mark. How you going?
Good.
I love all the little comments we have as we jump into the episode. It's talking about getting on a table for 8 hours. Hang on, probably should reword that.
You didn't even give me dollars, so I stopped dancing.
So hello folks, welcome to the Wobbly Player Syndrome podcast with visuals because we're streaming on Twitch at the moment. It's very exciting. It is a 40k podcast, so welcome. It is episode 40 and we are calling it, thanks, I brought my own terrain. So we are going to look at the faction specific terrain that you can bring and whether it's relevant or not. And to help me with this, I have some people here. And Adam.
Oh, that's good. I'm people today.
You've been promoted.
Yay!
What's that, Radio Mike?
Hey.
That's it? So you got?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. Fabulous.
Well, I was literally about to start talking, and then you went weird and quiet. So I was like, "Oh, he's just started recording."
Yeah, and then he let me keep going.
Yes. And of course we got Safe for Work Mark.
Hello.
That's it.
Hey, we ramble enough as it is.
That's not true. I don't know what
Hey,
you're
look,
talking about.
People keep insisting that brevity is the soul of wit.
Yeah, exactly.
G'day. So, yes, okay. So we're going to talk about. Well, I notice is like new books are bringing out new terrain pieces for every new codex that comes out. I thought, well, do you actually play them? I mean, I've bought one for the Death Guard and stuff. It hasn't reached the table yet. The Sisters of Battle have got a new one that's only good for them. So I thought, well, let's have a look, see what they do, see if it's worth playing them. And you three went, well, can't think of anything better to talk about. So here we are.
That sounds like the monthly conversation.
Yep. Bulldoss, g'day, Bulldoss. Welcome. I'm upset you're not here chatting with us. But that's okay. You're having a chat on the side. On the side? Sure. Right, so let's get to the regular stuff out of the way. And it wouldn't be a podcast without the Dancing Chaos Warrior, now would it? He's so excited. I got a new base! So let's get rid of the stuff that we normally talk about, which is always starting off with what's new.
Well, the new stuff, probably the first thing that I should discuss, even though it's not 40k, is the new edition of Age of Sigmar that just went up for pre-order. Yeah, I know, but no one will shut up about it.
Yeah, I've been getting like email after email from GW about it.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I have downloaded new core rules, but I haven't looked at them.
It's doing my head in that it's so quick. Like, it's like 3 years, even if that.
Well, 9 was a pretty quick update, wasn't it? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, 8 to 9 was also about 3 years. But back in my day, it was 5.
Attention span shorter. Look, squirrel.
Yeah, but even to the point when they turned around, they said, "New Age of Sigmar," and it felt like almost 3 or 2 weeks. It was also pre-order. It's just like, okay, there was no build-up. It was just a bam, done.
Yeah, there's no like hype train around that.
Yeah.
I just going to pause and say hello to Cardman 2021. They have said hello, people. So there you go.
Hello, Cardman.
To you as well.
I am a person.
Well done.
I too am a human person.
Right. So what has actually come out though? There was a lot of stuff.
Look, we've had a lot of stuff, and I've probably missed some stuff in my list. But we had like Codex Admech, I think came out like just after the last podcast, didn't it? The Admech Combat Patrol, the Skitarii Marshal, the Necron Combat Patrol, the Necron Chronomancer, the Flayed ones from the Pariah Nexus box, the Marine Combat Patrol, the Heavy Intercessors from the Pariah Nexus box, the Captain with a Heavy Bolt Rifle from the same box. Lilith Hesperax came out in her own standalone kit.
Yep.
A bunch of the Dark Imperium books got re-released because they slightly changed the continuity of the story a little bit.
Good old retcons.
It literally is a retcon. It's like the first legitimate retcon that I've seen people complain about.
Nice.
Because they literally went, yeah, we've changed the number of years, so we've gone back and re-released those books.
Yes,
which is
I did remember reading that. I thought, okay.
Yeah,
That's
they decided the story didn't quite make sense because they made it did too many years, I think, so they took it from like 100 to 10 or something. Like it was that kind of level of change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't recall.
But then there was the Codex Sisters of Battle came out. The High Lord of Terror, Morven Val, the Abbess Sanctorum came out. The Paragon Warsuits came out, which they're pretty cool. I've been meaning to check if they followed up on that weird misprint they made with them.
No, well, it hasn't been FAQ'd yet, so no.
It hasn't been FAQ'd yet.
Have a damage of 0 against them. If you
But also
by the written
also
rule.
the cost. If you play by the written rule, then you're paying like the cost for a unit of 3 for 1.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a bit of a mistake.
So it's a pretty big misprint, that one.
Yeah.
I assume it's a misprint and they're not supposed to be invulnerable but really expensive. The Celestial Sacrosancts came out. The Soritas Dogmata, the data cards, faction dice, the Necromunda Goliath and Escher upgrade sprues that came out at the same time as the new boxed set for Necromunda, which has Delark in it, which is the first time Delark have showed up in a box set like that. The House of Faith gang book came out, which I'm very excited by. The Redemptionist kit is supposed to be coming out, and Cawdor Tactics cards and faction dice. So there's been a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, but that's not 40.
And I'm sure I missed some in there as well because I've had a really hectic last fortnight.
Palatine, Sister Dogmata. There's a lot of re-releases as well. Did you mention Morven Val?
Yeah. Yeah, the High Lord of Terror. We made a big deal of it.
Yeah, but did you
Those
mention it?
action figures came out too.
Oh, yes, the action figures too as well.
I will admit I deliberately didn't list the action figures.
Yeah.
Everyone whinged last time I listed everything.
It's true.
Yeah.
All the Blood Bowl stuff and all the Warcry stuff.
It gives us something to add to the segment, so
That's true.
No, I got to say, the new sister models made me write out a sisters list to go, maybe I should start an army. Because I got a few odds and ends.
That's very cool.
But I'm not ready yet. I'm just not ready yet. Ask me
Yeah,
tomorrow.
starting a new army is the last thing I need to do.
Yes. I'm making a really good dent on my hobby painting. I don't need to just make it worse by getting a new army on top of it.
I'm trying very hard not to start a Horus Heresy Rainbow Warriors army just to fucking annoy people.
You see the 3D print for the Pride Marine? Did you see that? That was going around everywhere? No.
Oh, was that the one with the Marines holding hands?
No, this is with the Marine with a big Pride flag just going with his big thumbs up.
Ah, cool.
Yeah. It's been all about the
nope,
place.
didn't see it.
No,
No.
missed it.
Obviously, you don't live on Instagram. Nor do I.
I don't even have Instagram.
You just got to remember what the address is.
But no, when you mentioned it, I have seen that. Yeah, it was on Twitter.
Yeah, there you go. Another form of social media that's new to these youthful people.
Yeah, we're hip to the youths.
What is the Twitter? Yes.
We are back like scoliosis.
Fair enough. What do we talk about next? Oh, leading straight into hobby progress, aren't we? Look at that. Segue ruined by questioning it.
Segway.
Who wants to start first? Michael does. Brilliant.
Yes, I was actually suspecting you were going to dob me into that one. I've actually not done as much hobby progress as I would have liked, but I have actually in the last couple of days done a bit more painting on the Blade Guard. I think that is the most recent picture you put up there.
Yeah, it's the only one you can find. Yep.
Yeah, I just gotta clean the buggers up, then I can wash them and base them, and they'll be done. Then I can start painting Green Marines, or I can start painting Ravenwing. I haven't decided. Probably Green Marines.
So starting Dark Ages, you're making 3 armies in one, basically, aren't you?
It gets a bit like that, eh? Like,
Good evening, Joker. Welcome to the Wobbly Player Syndrome. I forgot where
And
we were.
I also built tanks because it
You
was
did.
Tank Day.
You did. I forgot.
Never
that
skip
feature.
tank day.
Never skip Tank Day.
I
Tank Day is
skipped putting
important.
them up.
I skip tank day.
All my tanks are already assembled, so yeah, they're just going to be painted. They're on the list.
In my defense, it is a holiday celebrated only by me. June 15th, Tank Day. Never skip Tank Day.
Mark.
Unless you have no tanks to paint.
Oh, look, you can paint an armoured car or a half-track. Anything can be a Tank Day if it tries hard enough.
Or your neighbour's
That's
car.
right.
Mark, I've only got your Tyrannid guy. Have you done anything else?
I have not done anything else since last time we
Right,
spoke.
I shouldn't push you. You have done one this year so far, so
And it was a large model
it
too.
was a large model, and you made the front page of the ROG Facebook. Well done.
I did notice that. That was a little delayed, but yeah.
Have a talk to our social media manager and tell him he should pull his socks up.
Because when did we put that up? That was months ago.
Shut up. No, it wasn't. Adam, what have I got for
Yes.
you? I've got Be'lakor.
Yes, well, Be'lakor is still in work in progress, and when I get the proper photo box, I'll no longer be using paper towel.
I do like how. Oh, just put some paper towel down, it'll be fine.
Well,
He's
it's better
trying, he's trying.
than me next to my mouse mat.
That's top quality painting, top quality Photoshop there.
Yeah.
I'm aiming to have him completed before the Charadon Part 2 book comes out. Is it the Charadon? Yeah, the book that actually
story.
has his rules.
Warzone,
Yeah,
Warzone
Yeah.
Caradon, I think it is.
Yeah, which they've said the
It's
Be'lakor
coming
will
out
actually have his
soon?
proper.
I think.
Yeah, it says it's coming out soon, but they recommend that it's going to have his proper rule set. They've increased his points, but the rule set. So I've got just the base to be done, and he's really the sword, and just highlight his horns and tip on the gold. But he's almost done.
Yeah, he looks good.
He looks really good. I was hoping to. I wanted to bring him down and have him sitting on the side and watching overarching and overseeing the demons fight, but I forgot.
Fair enough.
But yeah.
For me, I have been doing some progress. I've actually completed stuff. It's been exciting. All these half-assed jobs that I've been doing, and finally actually finish them. So I've done some intercessors. I've done some stuff, and there's a venoms. That's
Often
it.
things.
Done some stuff and things. So intercessors, venoms, razor wings, blight lord no, not blight lord, blight haulers. Am I missing something? Incubi. Thank you for popping up at the right time. I got to talk because I just realised I put all the pictures on there, so you have to wait patiently now. Whoops.
That's cool. So is that like? I noticed that your Primaris, they're a much brighter shade of green than I remember the rest of your army being. Are you doing that new for the Primaris, or are they all like that and I'm just a tripper?
No. For the core troops and stuff, what I've been doing is using the airbrush instead of painting, and so I've been trying to not have to do edge highlighting by doing a brighter. If you look closer, you do see that there are dark patches around the feet and under the armpits. And stuff like that. So, but yeah, and I actually like how they've come out.
No, it looks really cool. It wasn't a criticism. I was just like, is that something where you're doing something different with the Primaris from what you did to the rest of the army?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. I thought so. I was just making sure that I wasn't like seeing fucking silver when I was looking at those fucking, tan Marines.
Yes.
Yeah, I did notice they were much brighter too, actually.
The Primaris, they're real bright and stuff. I just realised
Shiny
they're all-
boys.
it's not
Bright
shown.
and shiny and pretty.
Yeah, it's not showing all the pictures, so awesome. You'll just have to look at Twitch and other places. But yeah, cool. But I haven't put them on the battlefield yet. The Primaris, they're not enough. The Primaris ready. So once that's done, then I'll get them on the battlefield. Speaking of battlefield, any battle reports? Look how I did that.
Yeah, slick.
See what you did there.
He said, not answering the question. Yes, I played a battle report.
You played a battle report.
Yes.
Good. Yes, it is up there at the moment. That is your Dark Angels versus Flesh Terrors.
Yes, I played against Nathan's Flesh Terrors, and it got down and grindy. Oh my goodness. There was some weird moments, like when he just ambushed me from behind with that frickin' Invicta warsuit, and it just rounded the corner on me, and I was like, oh, it can just whale my unit of Eliminators. And then my Eliminators just went, saved, and then they melted it in half.
Oh.
So I was just like, yeah, nah, they're dead. They are dead to rights. That thing is going to annihilate them with that fucking autocannon. And they just went, yeah, no, we're good. And then they melted it. And yeah, it was a weird game like that, you know. We ended up fighting, playing around the rosy, around this piece of terrain in the middle, countercharging, and then part of my army charged, part of his army and wiped them out. Then part of the remainder of his charged them and wiped them out, and then the rest of mine charged them, and it was just waves of just wiping each other out. In the end, the center of the table was like his captain, 3 bloody assault intercessors, 2 blade guard, and a banner bearer.
Yeah.
It was like just everything was just mosh pitting on top of each other and just shrekking each other. Man, Flesh Terrors, man, so many attacks. Like, whoa.
Guess it'd all be like chainswords and eviscerators and stuff.
Yeah, and they're like, oh yeah, because we're like Flesh Terrors, we get like, you know, we get bonus AP, and then if we roll a 6, it's a extra AP, and if it's the assault phase, we got bonus attacks. There was like a sergeant in there with like 7 or 8 attacks, like just crazy shit going on. Just shit stacking on shit, stacking on shit, and you're just like, how? How has everything got so many attacks?
Let me just find a pen to write down. Note to self: do not get into combat with Flesh.
Yeah, his death company made 1 charge, and I was like, they're fucking dying. They die.
Nice. And what was the result?
I won like 40-something to 14, I think. 43 to 14.
Picking on the new guy. I mean, really?
That was only like a small win.
Yeah. I was about to say the new guy. I think between me and Nathan, our hobby career is as a pensioner.
Yeah, but was it the primaries that gave you the 43?
Yeah, both. Like, I got a lot of my secondaries, and I got like 3 objectives and was holding them. So
Nathan's still learning the game. Was one of the things he neglected the secondaries, which can happen.
No, he did a lot better with the secondaries. It's just I took all the primaries, and his secondaries were like, you know, holding multiple board sections and stuff. So like pretty much all his points, like almost all his 14 points came from the secondaries. Okay. So his secondaries were like, you know, killing more of my units than I killed of his. Yeah. Being in multiple board sections. It's just his ambush didn't go as well as he thought. You know, he had some really bad luck in the opening. We both had some horrible luck in the opening turns. It was like, oh, yeah, I'll just, you know, it's like, okay, I'll charge you with 10 freaking assault intercessors. Yeah, okay, that's 40 odd attacks. Okay, cool. Oh, I do like 5 wounds. It's like, I'm sorry, what?
Oh, that's rough.
That hurts.
Did he borrow my dice?
It was just crazy. Like, and towards the end, we both started rolling a lot better. But yeah, the opening turns was just desultory all round. It was amazing.
Nice. Now, Adam, you had 2 matches that I know of over the weekend.
I definitely had 2 matches.
We actually streamed both of the games on this channel, Twitch.
And it was a back-to-back.
Redbelly. It was pretty much back-to-back. So he's done well playing the 2 games. They weren't short games. 2,200 and 2,300 points.
Yeah, it was 2,200 first one. I think we slugged it out to 2,300 on our second.
So your first game was against Anthony.
Bulldust.
He's not with us
yes.
at the moment. He's watching, so you can talk about him as much as you like, because all he can do in response is type. Go for it.
Yeah, but keyboard warrior. No. So the first one was obviously 2,200. He's Custodes and my demons, which I half of it, 1,000 points of it was Tzeentch, and I'd never played the Tzeentch. I've painted them, and I went, well, Slaanesh needs some sort of fight, like some sort of shooting. I know, pink horrors, you know, and you know, mortal wounds on Lord of Change, and we decided to play open war, which is quite brutal. And when the what was the twist? Was it the twist card?
The twist was that everyone lost one strength to their characteristic.
Oh.
Yep.
Yes, and when you think about that, everything in Demons relies on the character strength, not the weapon strength and stuff like so. It's like
Yeah.
yes, my pink horror's strength 2. I need 6s. Oh man.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
but
the twist didn't help you either. Because you had the low amount, you had a twist. Ruse.
yeah,
Which gave you light cover wherever you were, so +1 to your armor save. Except you had invulnerable saves.
it
On the
didn't do
demon.
anything.
Oh man.
So it didn't do really anything. But we lasted all right up to the end, and it was actually ended up being a draw. Low scoring, or with open war, it's not like 40 points. I think it was like 14 or 16 points,
9
or 19. 9 wasn't 9 was it? I
all.
thought 9 all. So it was a really small scoring, but it's only by
Because there's no secondaries, it was just capture points and hold it. And so there was just, it's very hard to get additional points.
I think we've lost him.
Oh, we might have lost him, or because he is 2 hours behind us, we might catch up with him soon. Or he's just stunned. What? So we'll see if he'll come back.
He hasn't blinked.
So yes, unfortunately, it was a hard-fought, long battle. It was bloody, absolutely bloody. It was the quickest I've ever seen Custody bikes.
He's back.
Down. Well done.
Am I back?
Am I back?
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Hey, there you go. I'm back.
Yeah. I was just talking about
restarted the hotel internet.
The Custody bikes, how quickly they fell. They were wiped by turn 2.
Yeah,
Really?
turn 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wiped.
He went, haha, I'm going to charge. Yep, my Keeper of Secrets, I think it was. Just wiped him out, and yeah, it was just and then all his bike squad disappeared, and then I made his captain.
Yeah.
His bike, was
Captain's gone. Definitely the hero for him was that Dreadnought.
Yes, the Dreadnought. The Dreadnought stayed there, and I could not kill it.
Much
Yeah,
too late.
Strength 14 on Malignifier. It's just like, oh man, I can't do anything with that.
You got an invulnerable save. You were fine.
Yeah. And I think on my side, the Lord of Change was like Impossible Robe, you know, and it was just like, oh, he's almost dead. I'll use the Impossible Robe, which is the roll 1 saving roll. If I roll a 1, instantaneous died. That comes in the next story.
Don't ruin the story.
But, you know, but the wound is automatically negated, and I just rolled it, and bang, it worked. And, he survived. So at the end of the day, no Keeper of Secrets, the Lord of Change stayed. But it was a really fun, open war is actually fun. It's like 8th edition all over, but with the 9th edition rules. Yeah. But it was quite interesting having 2 old codexes playing 9th edition.
Yeah, so none of that core rules was there. FAQs, I think, come out to fix that. But yeah. It was interesting to watch. And then I got to watch. And
commentate.
We did stream, so we did some commentating, and which was fun. And then you decided you hadn't had enough, and you came back after some Tucker. No, you stayed here for Tucker.
Yeah. You fed me.
Damn, a nice host. Got to send you the bill.
Yes, you should.
Yes, and then we played a game where I brought out my Death Guard versus similar Demon Army. You changed a few things.
Yes, I changed it to 3 keepers. Rolling with the eyes.
Yeah. And I went for a very different Death Guard army. I threw it together the night before. I went, you know what? I have just finished the Blight Blight Haulers. You know what I'm talking about. I'm going to put them in. I've never used them. Done. I haven't had my Hellbrute in an force for ages. He's in there too. When's the last time I put a Rhino in? Couldn't tell you. That's in there too. So I did a lot of things that I haven't used for a long time and threw it in there to see what would happen. having the haulers versus demons don't really work because they're AP weapons more than. Yeah, it doesn't help for that. But that
even for me, for you, you had invulns the same as custodians. Well, look, I rolled a 6. That's a -4 AP. Yeah, it's not going to hurt me.
Every time. Do you care about the AP? No, of course you don't. Yeah.
So both games, it's just like both games is the same. So yeah,
multi-melter still hurts when you fail though. Muhaha.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we played for a while. It was bloody. He caught me, basically stuck me in a corner for quite some time. I tied up most of my Light Lords with the 3 keepers, or at least 2 of them.
All three.
Finally got rid of him. Oh my god, finally got rid of him. I decided to shoot his turkey, and he decided to take the risk with the robe. How'd that go?
Yes. It didn't go well. It went really bad. And as I was like, now I look at it, I shouldn't have tried it because it was still on 9 points and it was only like a 4 wound thing. And I went, no, you know what? I want him to be on top scale. Rolled it 1, off the table, dead straight away.
Yeah, so roll a 1 mean it is destroyed.
That's rough.
Destroyed. Which was a turn of the battle. We got to the end of your turn 5, which means I had my turn 5. And we looked at the table and went, okay.
I was still winning after your objective marker count.
Yeah, you're still winning, and we're looking around and say, okay, if I'm looking at this, you've got a 1 point win just by looking around. If I get this
but that was also after your...
Okay,
we worked out everything. We've gone, right, so I'm still winning by 1 point.
Engage all fronts, that would give me 3 points. If I turn that, spread the sickness in that, gives me 3 points. If I do this, it gives me 3, and I'm still short by 1 point. That's disappointing. I lost by 1 point. And I had a feathered bloat drone sitting on one of those capture points. I'm just looking at it again. I'm pretty sure any infantry can do spread the sickness. Let me read the book. Any unit that's not aircraft. Oh, well, he'll give me 3 points. I win by 2. And
also with that, I was also thinking I should have moved my Fluxmaster underneath so you couldn't hit him. Yeah. I should have used the Auspex one because I had 4 sets of units, 4 sets of troops that I could have just done those as well. So I missed myself a couple of secondary objective points.
I made mistakes. And Hellbrute ran away from the capture point and got himself killed. And went, oh, that was stupid. He was meant to be there for engage all fronts.
But, as I was saying, about 9 hours worth of gameplay, I was making some mistakes. But, yeah, it was fun.
It was.
Two games, one night. Yeah, it was really enjoyable.
Much to Anthony's demise, I did get a win, which does keep me on top of the ladder. It stretches out the lead because he had a draw. But, look at that movement. Adam's moved up to 4th spot. And Michael's moved up to 5th. Dum 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 dum. Yeah, Mark, you just sit there. You be comfortable, mate.
Well, I did bleed all over Steve's iron hands last month after the last episode we shot.
Did you put your score up?
Yeah. It was 85 to 19. So he popped down iron hands, and it was all very vehicle heavy. And see, I don't have much anti-vehicle stuff. I've only got 3 Hive Guard models, and it looked really impressive. All of my nids all over the table, and then by turn 3, I was done.
At least you got to turn 3. The game I had against Anthony last month, it was done by the end of his turn 2. I didn't even get to have a turn 2.
Yeah, I was in last stand mode at turn 3. It was very nearly tabled.
It can be a brutal game, but we love it. That's why we're here talking about it.
That does remind me, bloody some of the hobby progress I didn't mention. The tank day where I built 2.5 gladiator tanks. That bloody gladiator Reaper. Yeah. I took it against Nathan. Man, that thing was probably the MVP. It was just like, oh yeah, I've got a heavy onslaught cannon. Oh yeah, I've got these freaking rapid fire 4 guns on each side. Yeah, that's a lot of shots.
Yeah, it's the old
Like, oh yeah, it
40K.
doesn't
Not
have
enough
much
guns on
AP. Doesn't have much AP, but fuck you.
Well, that's it. You got to, the Punisher for the Imperial Guard. It's 20 shots,
Yeah.
no AP. But when you shoot it twice at 40 shots, you're going to do damage no matter what's in front of it.
Man.
You'll do some damage.
Heavy 24, strength 6, -1 AP.
Yeah, that'll do some damage.
Yeah.
It's like, that hurts Marines.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I've done what 140 shots with no AP and killed. When it goes well, you just wipe a squad off the board. When it goes terrible, you kill like 3.
And then they look at you.
You sit here and go, I rolled this many dice this many times for this.
Yeah. Cool. Any other battle reports? Wonderful.
There was Mark and no, we only had 3 organized games.
Because there was
I
There
don't
was
think
only
I want to
5.
get very organised.
Yeah, but there was 5. There was 5 people.
Yeah, we
Steve
are
dropped
struggling
out.
for numbers. Bulldogs, thank you very much for the subscription. Thank you very much. Thank you. Denton Carlsford! Thanks, mate. You still can't get a win out of it.
No, I conceded right at the start of turn 1 when we found out if he beat me, he was going to get position 1. Remember?
Yeah, there's a lot of and he wanted you to beat me because to try and punish that.
So Bulldogs, I did try.
You got to-
So yeah, we only had 3 organised games this week, which was Steve. We were supposed to play Michael, but he had to drop out. So
life events
Michael
got
and
in the
Nate
way.
played
And then-
myself and Bulldogs. Yeah.
We've had a few life
like-
events get in the way of our regular meets.
Yeah, it was like, I could only play Saturday. You could only play Sunday.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was happy to get a game. I didn't think I would, but I did, even though it finished at 3 in the morning.
Yes.
far out. That's dedicated.
Oh, it was even worse because I went to go to bed. Both my sons are in my bed. I went, right, I guess I'm sleeping in my eldest son's bed. Yeah, cool. All right, so now we go to an ad break, so then we can talk about what we're really here for. That's right, showing off our mugs. Delicious.
Hotel glass.
All right,
I
so we'll
guess
go to ad break.
my paint water kind of counts.
We'll have a short break, and we'll be right back. We'll get into the topic of the month, which is... No,
I
thanks.
brought my own.
I brought my own. Terrain. All right, folks, be right back.
We are Rollers,
low.
and we have the
Terrain.
games for you. Be it board games, card games, dice games, or party games. You name it, and we have it. Find us online at rollersboardgames.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at rollersboardgames.
From acoustic to distortion, Storyboard Concept is music that's honest, relaxing, and full-bore rockin' music. Follow Colin at storyboardconcept.bandcamp.com.
Back the throttle, because that's what the word technically means.
You should wind back the throttle. Welcome back. Welcome back, folks.
That was quick.
It only goes for like 30 seconds.
We need more advertisers.
Speaking of advertisers, Rollers Board Games is running a promotion at the moment. If you put in the code AUTUMN20, you'll get, guess what? 20% off Autumn. That's right. No, that's not right. You get 20% off your sales. So, rollersboardgames.com. Voila. I ran. I knew I needed 30 seconds, so I ran. So give me a moment. Oh, dear, oh dear. Cool. So otherwise you can help with sponsoring if you are looking to help us out with the podcast and our productions and stuff like that, which will get better quality. You can now buy some merchandise, which we were showing off before. There's a Red Belly mug. There's a Wobbly Player Syndrome mug. You can also get an RLG mug and a RLG 40k mug. You can get those through my store. I wonder what that is. That didn't work. Cool.
You can't flash the link up.
I'm trying to. There it is. Right,
God
there
damn
is a
it,
link in
Streamlabs.
chat. It is topped
There
up
it
in
goes.
chat. Whew. Professionalism.
What could
And
possibly
of
go
course,
wrong?
subscribing does help support the channel as well. Right.
I still want the jumper.
Yeah, that's my next purchase, is get the red belly jumper. It's have a big belly on my big belly. Be great. Alright, so no thanks. I brought my own terrain. That's our topic this month. We're looking at the faction specific terrain that you can bring, and is it worth taking in your army? Now, the caveats: we are not tournament players.
Yeah, not for some time.
Sometime. We definitely not ice store. No, it's ice shop. Yeah. It's not. Yeah. Thank you, Joker. Oh yeah, Joker was watching our match and he fell asleep during our second game. It did get
So
to
we
3
must have been highly exciting, obviously.
Look, he stuck it out as long as he could. It was good.
Clearly they weren't asleep. They were just really concentrating.
Yes, that's it. Ooh, I wouldn't have done that. Ooh,
I'm
oh,
just
no.
resting my eyes.
I'm in the middle of a very long blink.
Yeah.
I wasn't asleep. I was drunk.
That's much better. Okay, so as I was saying at the start, I have noticed that every new every new codex seems to bring out a new piece of scenery that goes with it. The Sisters Battle is what's it called? What's that one called for the Sisters? Come on, everyone, you know it.
Battle Sanctum or
That's
something?
it. That is
Yeah.
exactly what it's called, the Battle Sanctum. Well done. Death Guard got their Miasmic Magnifier, and there's a few others. In fact, we worked out that 10 factions have their own individual ones that only they can use. We're classing Space Marines as a whole as one faction because there's too many of them otherwise. And we're just looking at, I guess we'll just look at them individually, rate them. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Necron Warrior is a tournament player. Never see fortifications in games. Yeah. Yeah, I know. How good are they, Bulldust? How good are they?
You used to see him a lot back in the days of the Aegis defense line.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
that thing used to be, and the bloody back when you was one of the few things you could shoot flyers down with.
Correct.
That was super popular back then.
And that's a very good point, because I don't see many people use fortifications in general, because there's a lot of generic ones that you can use.
Well, I mean, and this is where I lay my cards on the table. Historically, they haven't been worth the points.
Yeah.
And you sit there and go, this costs me 100 points. What am I getting for it that I wouldn't get from another unit? or upgrading another unit considerably.
And that's a great point, isn't it? Because if you're taking this, it's at the cost of a blurry face, a cost of something else. It could be a character, it could be extra people, it could be even a vehicle of some sort. Some of these fortifications are under 100 points, which might make you consider using them. There are some that are over 100 points, which for me would straight away go, nah, unless it's really good. So should we start? So the first one we're looking at is the Eldari. It is the Webway Gate. This one is your deep strike gateway, basically. It sits on a table, you put it down, you have any unit you want from the Eldari sitting in deep strike, and they pop out at the end of your movement phase from these gateways. And it's a vehicle and a building.
See, I question the usefulness, because your unit is already in play, and you're taking it out of play for a turn to put it somewhere else. And we've got shrunken battlefields these days. So
Well, that's a great
and
point.
and the Eldar have crap loads of movement, so you know what I mean. It's not like they're Death Guard or something where they plod along at 4 inches a turn.
5, thank you.
Well, I mean, I could conceivably see a use from it. I was just having a quick squiz over it because I haven't actually read the rules for that thing much before. But it looks like you could take like 2 of them and you could use them similarly to the way the Gene Stealers do, where they wouldn't know necessarily which one your guys were coming out of.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you could fuck with your opponent's deployment, but that's not like super useful. It's just something you could do.
It's 95 points.
See, the thing is that you could probably pick up for 95 points another squad that just deep strikes.
Well, yeah, but you could do it with like more than one squad.
Yeah, this way you could have. Well done, Adam. Oh, well, I'll post a picture up of the mug that you purchased.
Oh, does it?
That is awesome.
That's kind of cool.
Hey!
That's very cool. That was our G
So sorry, I went really quiet because I was purchasing it.
That's very cool. I didn't know it did that. That's very exciting. So the big part of this is you can put any unit into a deep strike. So you could put in the Wraith Lords into a deep strike. You could put, I guess, a grav tank into a deep strike and stuff like that.
You could conceivably
1 unit at a time from each webgate, though. So if you had 2, you could bring out 2.
Yeah, you could conceivably stuff things in there that you didn't want to get alpha struck in the first turn.
Correct.
Assuming that they couldn't alpha strike the gateway.
Well, that's it. It's a 14 wound piece of terrain with only a 3+ armor save. No invulnerable.
It's got a 5. It's got a 5+.
Does it?
Eldritch Aura.
Oh, yes, right up there.
Yep.
5+ invulnerable.
And at least it's got a toughness 8, so it's it's not a easy to kill thing. But on the plus
it's
side
not a
is
joke.
you drop it anywhere that, as I was saying, 12 inches before away from the enemy deployment zone. And if you've got like this Death Guard or a slow moving force, you just drop it in, and next thing, hey, hi guys, I'm here for you straight away. I could see an advantage with it, but
so
I don't.
one of the things.
Yeah, with Eldar, it's kind of blunted.
I think you'd only use it for the large ones that can't deep strike, like maybe the Wraith Knights with the big blades. I can't think what they're called.
Right, I think if you're talking about big one, right. But you're spending like 2 command points to deep strike them, so you're spending a lot of money, a lot of command points to hold them up. But if you're, I've never played Eldar, so I don't know how much command points you have.
You don't spend any points.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point of it. You can put.
I mean, I guess it gives you. I guess it does give you that, but
you can put it on a control point too, because it has to be outside 3 inches of the center of the control point. What's it called? Tactical objective. Oh, look at that T-shirt. Ooh, bust. Looking good. Well, there you go. That's very exciting. So
I can see reasons to use it, but it's probably not like competitive.
Yeah, it's also very dangerous. When you think about it, cost factor, the price of it. It's cheap, but if you throw like 3 big units, going, I'm going to throw all my heavies in there, and I'm just going to pop out at different one at each turn, and then you go, I don't know what he's got behind there. Blow away his webgate, and he's just lost like maybe 900 points straight away off the table. You just go, because it says if you destroy the webway, everything that's in there has been slain. So you're back on.
You wouldn't be putting more than
really
one unit
expensive.
in there, surely.
And see, as I said, I mean, I don't think there's that much value in having only 1 unit off the table at that point.
No, I think it's. Go on.
I was going to say, I just think it'd be funny for fucking with your opponent by like buying 2 of them, getting like a big fucking Death Star or something, and just being like, where's the Death Star?
But I think that's exactly right. I think it only really works if you have 2 of them. But then
you're talking 190 points for 2 of them.
Yeah. to go.
That's enough of the F
I
star.
didn't say to be effective. I said it'd be funny.
Yeah,
Saying
like
all this is an old book, so we don't know if their new codex might be improved.
Yeah.
I think 95 points. It could be shot down theoretically. 14 wounds and 3+, 5+ multiples does nothing. I think it could be better spent points. For me, it's a thumbs down.
yeah. I mean, I would never take that. Not with an Eldar force because they move so fast that it's just pointless.
Yep. I forgot to get images of all these things. I do apologise, but for the podcast, you're welcome.
It
It
does
looks kind of like this.
Yeah. I'll fix it up on the YouTube.
I do like the model. That model.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
cool
yeah,
looking
absolutely.
piece of scenery.
It's cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
pretty
scenery, it
much-
looks awesome.
Pretty much all of them are cool looking pieces of scenery from
Yeah.
memory.
Well, except for the Tau, but that's Tau. They've got their own
Oh.
issues. No, Tau models do look cool. Let's be fair.
Yeah, I like the look of town models.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
No. Alright, so the next one we got is we're going over the Chaos Marines and the Nectolith Crown. This is 85 points. It is immobile. It does count as a fortification and building and vehicle. It has Loathsome Aura, Malevolent. Oh my gosh, words.
Malevolent
I know,
locus.
thank you. Unstable energies. It does have a weapon, 6-inch range weapon. It is strength 7, AP2, D2 damage, 14 wounds, 3+ armor save. Does not have a invulnerable. Is what did I say? 85 points. Only useful for chaos. Really.
Really only for psychers, really.
Yeah.
But on the
So-
plus side, reduce it to 0, it blows up.
Yes, we always love the things that blow up. So Loathsome Aura does give Chaos units a 5+ invulnerable save when they win 6 inches of it. Right? So
Yeah,
it's not
which
bad. It then
which isn't
grows.
terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool if you were playing a scenario where you had to sit on one point and defend it, but
Correct.
that's about it.
Yeah,
because
so the
It,
second
it
turn
relies
it's-
entirely upon you being able to sit there and then come to where you are.
Well, actually, at this turn 2, that becomes a 9-inch bubble, and then turn 3 becomes a 12-inch bubble. So you do have some leeway where you can move, but not very far.
Yeah, you're stuck being tethered within 12 inches of this thing.
Yeah.
Well, to
Yeah,
be
and-
honest, I mean, are you going to move that far with your Death Guard anyway?
No, this is not Death Guard. This is Chaos Warriors.
This is normal chaos.
Normal
Chaos
Space
Oh,
Marines.
base.
Yeah, but Death Guard would be able
Nope.
to take it.
No, they can't.
No?
No,
Really?
They're not.
No, no.
Okay. Hmm.
Because it's the
Yeah.
Death Guard keyword. Death Guard. So the other part is for Chaos Psychers, they do get to reroll their psychic tests, and for other Psychers who aren't Chaos, they peril on a doubles, not double 1, double 6, just doubles. So that 12-inch bubble suddenly becomes into play by turn 3 if their Psyker gets a little too close.
So, I mean, if you're defending something against Grey Knights, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you just take as many psychers as you can, just go crazy psycher heavy and just be a prick. You know.
Drop
there
that.
are things you could do. I wouldn't necessarily think that they're going to be super effective. But like if I owned it and I played Chaos, I'd use it just to see what it did.
I mean, considering what else you can get for 85 points.
For Chaos, yeah, you could probably fit another character in.
So, looking at that, I could probably use it for my demons. Because I do have I've got the chaos keyword.
Yeah,
Yeah, faction chaos.
faction Chaos.
I could drop that, and for myself, reading those, I can see myself using it, because how many times did I spend my command points, to rewrite my psychic tests,
Oh,
so I
twice.
wouldn't
I
peril
mean,
myself.
If you just sat a fat load of Zinch bullshit on top of that, that would be a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
It'd be a pain in the ass within that one part of the table.
Yeah, so I can
But
see
Hang
it
on.
would be a pain in the ass.
a
hang on,
scenario type battle.
I would
could
just
definitely see what-
go and order it now.
It'll pop up on the screen because it's RLG branded. Any purchases from anyone we promote here comes to us. No.
I purchased the RLG Tillith crown. It's a Noctilith crown that you just painted.
Painted in the black, red, and blue, whatever it goes. Yes, anti-Grey Knights, yuck, yeah. So, yeah, you're right. If you knew you were playing against Grey Knights, that's not... Even Zench, if you were up against Zench, that's not a bad thing to have in your back play. But...
Well, see, the thing is that even if you're playing against Zench, Chaos Psychers aren't affected.
Yeah, the Chaos Psychers are fine.
No, Zench aren't Chaos.
Tyranids, potentially, though.
Tyranids, yep. So anyone with multiple Psyker...
the Tyranids come rolling, and you're just like, "I'll fucking shadow your warp."
Sucked into my crown.
Actually, seriously looking at that, I can see myself. That's what that is. Okay, now I know what it is. I could actually see myself fielding that.
So when I looked up these items, I did go through each faction to see what's allowed, and this only came up in the Chaos Space Marines faction. It does not show up in Demons.
That's a shame.
Now,
because I have the Chaos.
I'm looking at Battle Scribe at the moment because that's easier for me to put all of them together, and it might be a keyword missing because there might be a Chaos Astartes keyword needs to be in there somewhere.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the Chaos Demons and the codex for that, and I'm not seeing it in the data sheet, so I don't have it as a data sheet.
Go back. Hello, how are you? Welcome.
So no, I couldn't use it as Chaos Demons.
No, I don't think so. I think it is Chaos Marines only, so Black Legion.
What book is it from?
It's the Chaos Space Marine book.
Is it?
Oh, maybe it could be from a Psychic Awakening. Hang on. It will tell me, I'm sure.
No, it's Chaos Space Marines.
There you go.
I mustn't have the most recent one. Oh, I don't.
I'm looking at the app, and yeah, it's...
yeah. So, okay, so... Specific scenario, if you are holding a certain area or you're playing Grey Knights, I would consider it. General play, not so much. That's my call. So that's a thumb in the middle. Thumb in the middle.
Yeah.
It's got some dependencies on that one.
Yeah, it's a conditional thing.
Yeah.
I think we've
For list tailoring.
For that one, I would actually have to read it because if it has it's got the chaos. So if you've got, for example, demons, and you've got an offshoot of Chaos Space Marines running with you, whether or not you can drop it and have it at the same time, I don't know.
Well,
but
it is funny because it doesn't seem to have, in Battlescribe anyway, the placement rules. It just says can be set up on the battlefield.
yeah.
Oh, wrong way. Go back. Thank you so much for the subscription. We've got another dancing Space Marine. Come on, everyone. Where's your dancing Space Marine?
He's on the screen. Why do I have to dance?
That one was actually a gift sub from the Joker.
Oh, Joker. Thank you very much. Ooh, thank you. You now get this very cool Nurgle icon.
So going back to this one, I could actually see myself doing that because I've just clicked on bloodletters, keyword, chaos. So
that would suggest that you could
dump a whole lot of
include it.
Have some Chaos Space Marines. Yes, but you've got to have a Chaos Space Marine unit with you.
Do you?
Yeah, because it's actually in the Chaos Space Marines Codex. I don't have it in my Demons Codex.
Well, I mean, technically, surely you'd be able to have a detachment of Chaos Space Marines that includes that's just literally the terrain piece and not the Marines. Because if you have to take a Chaos Space Marines unit, potentially that could be a handicap because now all of a sudden your 85-point terrain piece is now, a couple of 100 points.
But if you want some, Space Marine shooting and stuff like that, I could see a benefit of having that, and then you just dump your psychers in there, as what Michael said, and it's just a really, really, really annoying
Yeah, and
Corner.
you're right. I could put it for Death Guard because Death Guard have chaos as a keyword.
Yes.
So
But
for
you don't
Death
need
Guard,
any
that'd
more
be
bubbles.
really good for protecting things like your Plague Marines and stuff as they plod along.
What's the bubble? 6 inches. So if you could squeeze in a crawler, it sits behind it so you can't even see it and gets a 5+ vulnerable save. Yeah, that could piss off a few people.
Yeah.
But I don't
It's
really...
conditional, but it doesn't totally suck.
No, it doesn't
No.
really suck. I think it's got its place. Wouldn't be the first thing you take out.
Yeah, I could see things to do with it.
Thank you, Joker. Appreciate that. Just let me know what you want from the store. Send me your money via the mail. It'll be fine. I think it's got its place. Moving on. Chaos Demons. They have one. They have the Feculent Gnarlmaws. 95 points. It is a fortification, so it's not a building, and it's not a vehicle. Faction is Nurgle and Demon. It has Conduit to Nurgle's Domain. You can have more than one. Pestilent Garden, Shroud of Files, Shroud of Flies. It's become, Sickness Blossoms, and the Plague Bell Chimes. As I said, 95 points. It has no stats, no characteristics, so you can't kill it.
Literally just a terrain piece that gives you these extra bits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It helps you summon Nurgle. It only helps Nurgle, right? Nurgle demons. You can have more than one. They must be within 6 inches of each other and not too close to any other terrain. Counts as terrain, so cannot be targeted to be shot at. We've just said that. You do get cover while you're within 7 inches of it. And if you already get that, you also get a -1 to additional +1 to any armor saving throw again as well. So -1 to shoot at, plus an armor save if you're within that spot. That's not faction specific.
Yeah, but you said +1 for shooting. The only ones that will actually do that for Nurgling,
No.
Michael, you've also got high Nurgling. It's just your bugs.
No,
That's
it's a
got
range
really
attack
shooting.
against you. If you're in that forest, you get a
Yeah.
+1 armor save.
Once again,
Yep.
it'd be a Embuggerance one, but it's actually got the Festering, it's got the Shrouds, it's got stuff. For me, once again, I can see a benefit of it, but only having it for Nurgling. Yeah,
The thing is that again, you're still predicated on defending something at that point because you've got to be, close to it. Otherwise, it's useless.
Although, one key thing to remember with the Feculent Gnarlmaws, which is perhaps not relevant in competitive tourney play because they probably wouldn't let you do this. I don't know exactly how the rules work. But Horticulus Slimex is allowed to make one of those every turn. Just make one.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know in 8th edition you would have had to pay for that in your...
Yeah,
army
there was one point where they were like, you have to pay for that kind of shit. His rule doesn't say you do, but I'm pretty sure a tourney would make you do that. Because if you didn't, then I know someone who did it in AOS, bought like a dozen Feculent Gnarlmaws and just summoned one every turn. Just to be a prick, because he could.
Yeah.
So I would be horribly shocked if they let you do that. But if you're playing casually and your opponent does let you do that, having a couple of those, if you're going to play Horticulus is a funny little bugger. But that's an interesting thing about this particular piece of terrain.
Yeah.
Which I do have. I have this one.
It looks cool. I got to say, it's one of the terrain pieces I think is really cool. I wouldn't ever get it for myself because I don't play Nurgle.
Well, I have a bunch of Nurgle demons.
You do. I've had them fight me one time, many moons ago. It's been a while since you and I have played.
It has.
Yeah, maybe we should fix that.
Well, we were going to, then it didn't happen.
Yeah, you and your
I accept
Saturday
donations to allowing you to play him. And I reckon Anto would give you a donation.
So,
well, I'm still yet to play Anto too.
There you go. So, if you're Nurgle and you're inside, you get benefit of cover. Well, you don't have to be all Nurgle demons. Yeah, so you get the cover. what Nurgle demons would sit in there. My knowledge is they don't really have range for Nurgle demons.
Your bugs.
No, you would like, if you were doing the crap with Horticulus, you're like, I think it's at the end of his movement, he could place one within like 3 inches of him.
Yeah.
So if Horticulus is leading a pile of bullshit, you're summoning one at the end of your movement phase to give you that buff after having moved each turn.
Well, that could work. If you're getting that for free, and he moves, drop one down right next to your troop who's now
right next to all your guys. And just
works.
a new one each turn, and all of those ones that you placed before are doing the bullshit with the wound auras and all that crap.
Yeah. So that
Like,
the thing is that
it's really rough.
you also can't place it within 1 inch of any other terrain feature.
Yeah.
So you'd have to be playing this on an almost empty table to get away with it.
They're not super big,
Yeah.
but I mean, a lot of tables do have, fairly big gaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I said, I think it'd be very limited
1 inch
where
isn't-
you could
isn't that
apply
big.
this in a way that'd work well,
I think if you have to pay for all the 95 points for that character and stuff like that, no. Just no.
Yeah, I mean, 95 points, I'm sure you'd be better served by just having another unit of something that can be on an objective or something.
Some Nurglings just running around.
Well, I mean, you could, if you just took one of them, you could drop it on an objective. Roll
Well, you
Horticulus
can't.
to
It's
drop it.
it is literally a terrain piece, and it
No,
can't be.
An objective marker
But-
is not a terrain piece.
Yeah, like if Horticulus goes up near the objective, Horticulus drops it next to the objective, then your opponent has a real pain in the ass
Yeah.
to do anything with that objective because the auras are right on the fucking objective.
And because if you are in there, you do get to suffer D6, a mortal wound on a 4+. Or,
Yeah,
no,
like,
sorry,
it's-
I lie. On a 6, D3 mortal wounds.
Yeah,
So
it's a
it
pain to
automatically,
be near.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
every
it's-
turn it suffers one mortal wound, and on a 6, it's a guarantee.
But-
It's guaranteed to have one mortal wound.
So D3, yeah. So it's an annoyance.
See, the
Yeah.
thing is that, again, I mean, you'd be balancing that against a scoring unit you could
Yeah.
put on the table for that.
So for me, it's a no. I don't see the benefit of it for the 95 points, and the scenarios coming up, I can't see it happening enough for me to consider putting that. I don't play Nurgle, so I could be completely wrong. But it's a no.
Yeah, I agree.
For this one, I agree because it's not. It's really for an 8th edition in my eyes, whereas for 9th it's more mobility and running around. So having it stuck in one spot, whereas the other one was shooting and the psychers.
Well,
The other one's
to-
more of a yes than this one for me.
To be fair, this does help if a Nurgle army does need to hold an objective.
Yeah.
Because it makes them more durable when they're near it. It makes them better at summoning demons while they're near it.
And it
It provides a bunch of buffs.
Yeah, and enemies are hurt by being near it. But
Yeah,
yeah, and in a defensive play that would be brilliant. But
well, in 9th, you're gonna need to do some defensive play because there's usually like
Pretty
4 to
lame.
6 objectives to hold.
Yeah.
So like if no matter who you are, you need to hold some objectives.
So it's a yes for you,
So-
Michael.
This is a problem that Nathan ran into in our game. He was like, I'm gonna run over and fucking pump you, but he didn't leave anyone behind to hold the objectives behind him
Ah, okay.
because he had like all melee guys, and he's like, nah, I'm not gonna hold
Alright,
that. I'm just
moving
gonna kill
on.
you.
I got a no from me, yes from Michael,
Certainly, if they're free, fuck yes.
yeah, a no from Adam, and a
Certainly
no
be
from
tempted
Mark.
to use them otherwise.
Yeah.
All right, next. Otherwise, we'll never get through it. We're at the Death Guard. I'll be very
Oh, it's a no to me. No from me for that one.
The Miasmic Malignifier. I actually have it. I have base coded it. I have not painted it yet, and I will put it on the table. Done. Moving on.
It looks pretty cool. Like the rules for that look pretty handy.
Yeah. So
I certainly would be very frustrated by that on the table.
the very big thing. The reason is 75 points. So it's not expensive compared. This is the cheapest one we've had so far. The biggest part of it is the toxic presence, which means it counts as about around 4 to reduce your toughness in a 12-inch range. So anyone coming in 12 inches at you are going to be toughness -1. That alone is worth 75 points.
Now, does that also would that actually tick away as well as your aura buff? Because you took my toughness away. So does that
the
mean
aura buff? Every Death Guard item has that buff. This one starts at turn 4 because it starts at 1, 3, 6, and 9. Oh, sorry, 9 inches, not 12. Get it right. Jeez, cheat. So 9-inch bubble of -1 toughness from turn 1.
Yep. But also the weapon that it's got. Come on, it's automatic hit 2d6. While it's strength 4, it's still going to hurt.
Yeah, it's only 6-inch range, so it's basically a flamer.
Yeah, but it's still gonna. Well, flamers are 12 inches, aren't they now?
No,
But it's still going.
That one's only 6 inches.
Yeah, but this is still going to hurt.
Yeah.
And it's got quite a large footprint because it's got the main part, then it's also got the Pox Furnace, which just stretches it out that little bit further as well. So it does have a large footprint.
But on a +4, it explodes. So half
we
the
also
dice,
love that.
it's still got a good chance of exploding.
And this is the
Well, it does get points for that. I like explosions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, the one thing I thought, and Death Guard infantry gets light cover within 6 inches of it, which is great. And -1 to the attack hit roll if you're trying to hit me. If I already get light cover, so yeah. What was I going to say? The weird part of this one is if it is bracketed, so if you lose points, it starts at 12 wounds, so it's probably one of the lowest wounds that actually has wounds on it, because I think everything else has had 14. Each bracket, it drops down in strength.
But what's it going to hit?
Well, that's it. There is no need for it to have a strength characteristic. So the bracketing doesn't actually work. The toughness stays the same. The ballistic skill stays the same. Everything else stays the same. For some reason, the strength drops.
I would understand there if the strength dropped, if the weapon, the Noxious Stink, was assigned to that.
Correct. But it isn't.
Exactly.
Have you checked the book, is the question.
Like I have a Death Guard book.
Because this could be a battle scribe issue, not a
No,
book issue.
it's definitely... I did check the book because I thought that can't be right. But no, the strength is what actually drops when it is bracketed.
I think it's is it correct in the way it's got set up with the strength of the attack?
With the strength of the attack, sorry? Of the weapon?
Does the strength do anything in its rules?
No.
Yeah, okay, then that's just goofy.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. It's weird. It's a building. It's also a vehicle. Does it have any effect if you shoot? Can you shoot buildings? Who's a bloody Iron Fist player?
I mean, you can clearly shoot it. It has a toughness and wounds.
Yes. Oh, you can. Yes, absolutely. So I guess if you have some sort of ability, it goes against their strength value. Is there such a thing? Nakamura, if you're still there, please explain to me why it would have an effect of their strength dropping.
I know there are some weapons in
their toughness and their leadership.
no,
and
like
stuff.
Weber's.
Like, it strikes me as the kind of thing that would be designed for like a close combat.
No, there are things like web guns and web pistols and all that. They attack your strength or toughness, whichever is lower. There are some weapons like
There you
that.
go. That's where we come into play. But yeah, so for me, it's a yes. It is a very big yes for me because it's cheap. 75 points is cheap. It's cheaper than a character. It gives me the cover save in a 6-inch range. Also, I could be a -1 to hit if I'm that cool, which I am. It explodes on a 4+, not a 6+. Gotta love that. And it has that 9-inch bubble of that -1 toughness. So as soon as you move 3 inches out of your deployment zone, you are now toughness -1.
Yeah, it's certainly a fairly effective looking one.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it looks cool.
It does.
Mark, you're the harshest critic.
Yeah, I mean, 75 points is cheap. Again, in a defensive type of thing, I'd be inclined where they have to come to you. But if you've got a more dynamic game or you're an attacker, it probably better to spend the points elsewhere.
I mean, how many Death Guard armies are dynamic?
Yeah, I was going to say, you've seen a Death Guard army, right? We're
it's
for our flexibility.
Well, again, it's one of it still relies on someone coming to you, and with Death Guard that is more likely to happen. It's just it's one of those. It depends. Like in the right scenario, this could be amazing, but I can see situations where you'd just be like, yeah, that did nothing for the points.
So you're a maybe, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Michael, maybe, yes, no.
Oh, look, if I was Death Guard, yeah.
Adam?
Death Guard, yeah. Put your plague crawls behind it. Put anything that you want to survive.
I'd be putting that right next to your deployment zone, as close as I could to your deployment zone. So as soon as you walk out, you're -1 toughness. Everything that's shooting at you, bolters the lot.
Yeah, but I'd also put it. I'd also put it around something that you want to protect, like
just put it on an objective, tactical objective.
Yeah, but the other night,
you can deploy it anywhere. It doesn't have to be in your deployment zone. You just fucking drop it wherever.
Yeah,
it's got to be more than 12 away from the enemy deployment zone.
Yeah, but as soon as you move 3 inches out of your deployment zone, you are affected by it.
Yeah, but I'd also put it around your predator. Like the other night, my seekers came up and went chomp chomp chomp.
Yes. So that was the other model I never put into a Death Guard army. Would never do. I put my Predator in there. Yes.
Yeah, but you see, I mean that stuff there. You protect stuff that's expensive as well. That's another option for using that.
Did
that
you get
model.
light cover? Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just I would say yes if I was doing it.
I think it's worth it. But that's why I've got one. Well, actually, I bought it because it looked cool, and then I read the rules.
That's the best reason to buy things. Speaking of pieces of terrain where you don't have to have people come to you, this is the Battle Sanctum.
Well done. Yes, there. We're moving on. Cool. All right. So this is a fortification, of course. It is used by the Battle Sisters. It is a ruins. So this is the first ruins we've got. It's got area terrain. I'm not sure what that means. Sector Imperialis, that does give bonuses to Imperial people. Consecrated Ground, Chaos don't like it. -1 leadership. Oh, sorry,
Which is
80 points. -1 leadership. Praise to the Saint. Okay, so if you do an action, you actually get a miracle dice. So an action, everyone knows you can move to it, but then you can't shoot or anything like that, and you'll get an action.
I'm not up on my Sororitas rules. What is a miracle dice, and is that worth 80 points and sacrificing a turn of your
miracle
priest?
Dice is you roll a d6. If it rolls a 5, you put that 5 to a side. You can use that 5 to substitute pretty much any other roll. So if I needed a 5 to hit and I rolled a 3, I go, I'll use my miracle dice. Thanks to 5, done. You'll automatically hit.
Oh, I don't know.
You're not sacrificing the priest's whole turn. They still get to move. They just, instead of shooting their pistol, they pray. And they can do that anywhere on the battlefield as long as that thing's somewhere on the battlefield.
Correct. And you have to pray to make it each day.
But I've seen some battle reports where they keep getting the those miracle dice, and those miracle dices have been amazing. Sixes
amazing.
And stuff like that. Bam, that didn't save. I'll just spend my miracle dice.
Well, even when you get a miracle dice of 1, okay, I'll use that next time to do a morale test.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Just getting the miracle dice is possibly a really good benefit for that.
For you, Mark, if a character dies, they get a miracle dice. There's other abilities they can do to get miracle dice. At the start of their turn, they get miracle dice, so they can be absolutely fully loaded with these miracle dice.
Yeah, so there's plenty of opportunity to get miracle dice without sacrificing an action of a character.
Yeah.
Are priests even really characters? Aren't they shit?
So wrong way
actually,
to go
or infantry units. So potentially it could be pretty much anything you've got.
Yeah. So Miracle
Yeah,
Dice.
like-
I just want to put
So-
that
so-
wrong way. Go back as just pointed out. If you think about, would you pay 1 command point to do a reroll and hope, or would you use a Miracle Dice? So basically saying a Miracle Dice is basically equivalent to 1 command point.
Yeah, like dice, but having the ability to go, I know that roll is this is fantastic. Like Miracle Dice
Yeah.
are really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you've also got to remember, though, that yes, it's 80 points, but it's also removing a unit's worth of points from whatever turn.
It's
Not really.
It's 80 points
Like-
that has no stats, so it cannot be destroyed.
It cannot be killed. It's a piece of terrain. Gives you guys the benefits of terrain. They get the bonus to cut to their armor saves for being in it.
Yeah.
Like it's quite good. And
Yeah.
Any,
a lot of the
anything
time-
TO.
how often do you have a unit that doesn't have a shooting target or doesn't have a melee target,
Yeah.
or you're like, oh, there, I'll just generate melee dice, miracle dice for the units that are actually doing something.
Yeah, so it's breachable, defensible,
And-
light cover, obscuring,
that's a
scale,
fair
and
point,
inspiring-
but
inspiring.
Again, I mean, you don't put units in your army for them to sit around and do nothing.
Oh, you could sit one back. You can have one of this in your back line if you wanted, and just go, I'm going to have a cheap ass priest. I can have one of those, Cult Imperious Priest, yep. And have bloody, what are the heavy weapons guys sit in there as well? And just sit back and shoot. What are they called? Those guys. Those lasses. I actually think this is a pretty powerful one because you cannot destroy it. And getting
Even lowering the leadership of chaos. It's even though it's a small 6-inch bubble, but if you put it, depending where you put it, that could be a key feature.
you
And I mean,
you put units in a building if you can, if it's a long range weapon. If you put a devastator in a building, you'd be going stoked. Put a long range weapon guy and a cheap ass priest in there. Okay, so the priest would be equivalent to 100 and something points instead. But you generate.
Yeah, but at that point, you are having to look at it through the lens. It's not 80 points you're spending on this.
Yeah,
It's
now
160 or whatever.
Plus,
Yeah, but
I'm
they're
getting the benefit
doing
of
things
defense,
other than-
light cover, heavy cover. No, just light cover,
You're-
defensible, breachable. So if
I mean-
someone charges you while you're in it, you go, good luck. So,
Yeah, and
not
it's
horrible.
this piece of terrain is basically an upgrade for the rest of your army, but it also does stuff.
Mm.
It gives all of the rest of your army an ability, and it makes like your cheap ass priests, gives them something else they can do.
Yeah. So priest, I'm just looking for, what are they called? Minister and priests? Oh, I won't have the list.
Cultists.
Cult Imperialis priest.
Missionaries or whatever they're called. I don't know.
Yeah,
Do I have the most
the
recent
latest rules on
codex?
that. Sorry, because of the new book, I don't have the updated data sheet on that. They're not expensive. If you look at the Imperial Guard one, they're so cheap. Anyone give us a price over the Minister and Priest is?
Price check.
I've just
Price
typed
check.
in mini priest and it didn't work. Alright, so they're cheap. I can't find it. My books are out of range. They're over there.
I don't know if this is the most recent one, but it says like 38 points for a missionary.
There you go. So you're now paying 110 points to give yourself a terrain feature that you can sit in there, give yourself light cover.
An extra miracle dice every turn.
Extra miracle dice per turn. But it's bonus. I think it's pretty good. Retributors, thank you, Joker. Retributors are the heavy weapons for the sisters. Yes. Wrong Way Go Back has a new book. He's going to look what a top bloke.
But yeah, like I reckon this one is pretty good.
I think it's pretty good. I think it's a yes for me.
Yes, for me as well. If I ever
Mostly-
did decide to do it.
Mostly because it basically gives all of your units an extra ability. Like it's not that static point that you have to defend like all the other ones have been.
Mm.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those terrain features that you don't like. While it affects chaos, but it gives the overall unit, the overall army a buff. So it's I'm not playing chaos, but hey, I've got a bonus.
But I still have shit tons of miracle dice. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got to stop
And I'm just
watching
looking at
Twitch
it, and it
because
does
my
not
delay's
say-
actually screwing me.
Sorry, I'm just looking at you idiot. I'm just looking at it. It does not say. Oh, one. Okay, so it does say 1 unit. Okay, I was going to say. Otherwise, I'll put multiple press on there and go, yeah! It's raining dice.
Yeah, but
And
still,
And that 1 unit must be wholly within.
Yeah, but it's a building. You just put them in the building and they can't be targeted because it's obscuring. So it's a no from you still, Mark.
As I said,
Missionaries are
I'm
40. There you go. 40 points for missionaries.
yeah, so
Priests-
120 points.
If a preacher is allowed to do it, they're only 25.
If it's any Adeptus Sororitas infantry unit.
Or
Well,
Cult
that's-
Imperialis Priest.
I think it's pretty powerful for.
Mm.
So the caveat we should have said: terrain's not always going to be in every battle, but these are definitely ones you should consider. You're not going to take it to a tournament. Well, it's probably the only one you would think about
Look,
doing a tournament.
I wouldn't be surprised if people were taking this in tournaments. Like,
Yeah, I mean, if the miracle dice don't wind up with some kind of nerf or something like that,
No, that's their
I can
whole
see it.
deal for sisters.
yeah, that's like
Yeah.
their mechanic.
Yeah. You get a free command point per turn.
well, I guess in that case, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Oh, wow. Hard sell, but we got there.
Well, see, it's more down to my unfamiliarity with bloody sisters.
Yep, that's all right. Now we get to the ridiculous one, which I reckon I can think I know what our answers are going to be on this one. The Hammerfall Bunker.
Was your first answer that
100
I've got one?
Oh, I'm so sorry. 175 points. Yikes. Right, what does it do for you? It lands. It has a defensive
No, it doesn't
array.
land. It's
No,
it's placed.
placed.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
sorry.
doesn't.
Yeah. It has a defensive array, which means it has a heavy 3 bolter, or you can upgrade it to a flamer. Also has missile launcher, I believe.
No, it's got a flamer and a heavy
No,
bolter.
it's
I don't
one
think
or
it's...
the other.
One
Is
or the
it?
other. Yeah, one or the
Yeah.
other. It is wound 14, strength 6, again, weird, toughness 8, 3+ armor save. It does bracket. It loses. What does it
Yeah,
lose?
It loses ballistic skill.
ballistic skill.
So that does hurt. Ballistic skill 4+. If you were to Overwatch, it does alright, I think. If you Overwatch, it becomes a heavy 6 for a bolter, or 2d6 if you got the flamer.
It can
Yeah.
reach out and hit with that missile launcher, though.
I mean, yeah,
So
that
it's
missile
a-
launcher
yep.
can fuck shit up. But the thing about this is it can potentially turn part of the table into a bit of a fucking no-go zone, because that heavy bolter shoots every single enemy in range. Not one unit. Every single unit that is a viable target gets shot.
Really?
Really?
And if it's being charged, it basically doubles the shots.
Yeah. So if you take the heavy flamer, it uses the heavy flamer on every single unit in range every time it fires.
Yeah, that's what it says there, yeah.
So it turns that area into a fucking danger zone.
Yeah.
Yes, every eligible
But-
unit. Yep.
But for 175 points, you kind of want it to.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes, you
it's-
would.
It's pretty expensive.
The heavens weep.
Yeah. But I mean, the heavy bolter version of that, it's going to really make people think twice about going to that whole section of table.
Oh, to me, it's the cost.
It's very expensive.
175 points. That's huge.
I mean, toughness 8, wounds 14.
Which is-
That is equivalent to, a tank.
Yeah, I mean, it's like gladiator kind of stats, but it's like cheaper than a gladiator tank.
Yeah. Can't move. That missile launcher is pretty powerful. Heavy 2, strength 10.
72-inch range on that missile launcher.
Still needs line of sight, but yeah.
That's true.
If you've got some good fire lanes, that's heavy 2 would annihilate your big targets.
Well,
even
because you're still only AP2.
D6 though at the end of the day, but even the super frag missile, heavy 2d6 is strength 6, but it's also a blast. Looking at that, it would actually take out any troops really, like horde. It would actually hurt the horde troops.
Yeah, like I bought this and I would be tempted to run this because I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, because I mean, you hit a horde with that frag missile.
You let a horde go anywhere near this thing.
Yeah.
No, and it's good night, Irene.
Yeah.
So how does it deploy? Is it deployed?
You just place it.
Just place it.
Did you deploy it like a part of your army?
So
it's got to be in your deployment zone, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you had a tactical objective in your deployment zone, you know where that bunker's going.
Yeah. Right fucking next to it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be.
Now, does that mean that
that
while it's not OBSEC, it would actually, you're still holding that objective?
I don't think fortifications count for that, do they?
No, you can't use fortifications to do that.
I'm pretty sure there's like a rule saying fortifications can't hold objectives.
So it can't claim
but you'd find the
Well, here we go.
cheapest unit.
Joker has built an Imperial Fist list around 2 of these Hammerfall turrets, but more fluffy than match play.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get that. I totally get that. Imperial Fist makes total sense to have those.
Like that one there, I'd put it right next to an objective marker and find the cheapest unit I could spend to put it next to it, just so it just holds the objective and
Well,
let that thing just do the shooting.
Devastator Squad or equivalent sitting next to it, so it's still got some firepower. If you want to try and take it down,
but that's already got some heavy firepower.
Why would you need a Devastator unit next to it? Because
just to shoot from your deployment zone.
Yeah, but you're making that objective. Most of the objectives, there's an objective marker in your deployment zone, so you're just making that one a no-go zone. And if you do put it in your deployment zone, you're actually making it so, I'm going to drop behind you. Yeah, probably not a best idea because that's just going to screw you around.
Yeah, you can put a scout.
It's pretty good area denial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would free you up for, other heavy support stuff around the table or...
Well, it is 175 points, so we are talking about a vehicle of sorts would not be able to get in because that or a large squad or something. So is it worth taking out one of those mobile gun turret things?
Well, I mean, as mentioned, you'd often need to have something hanging back holding an objective. And if you want to hide a tech marine behind a bunker in your fucking deployment zone and just sit there repairing the bunker each turn or something equally daft.
because tech marines are actually quite cheap, aren't they? They're
not very expensive.
Relatively. But
so
it's vehicle, so yes. It is a vehicle.
Yeah, they can repair. They can repair the bunker. Yeah.
So you'd have a tech marine just sitting at the bunker, at the back,
holding the objective,
and stopping people from dropping behind you, and you just keep sweeping forward.
It'd be funny at the very least. People hate it when you do stuff like that with tech marines.
Yeah. Imagine you got 2 objectives in your deployment zone. Bang bang.
it would be really annoying. Yeah, you'd be. If something like as the joke said, bang, put 2 there. If I was playing that and I'm deep striking, it would just be you'd be like hating that person that you're playing against. But still,
because I mean, sure, you could cheap out and do something like a Predator, but a Predator doesn't have the reach.
4 las cannons.
It doesn't have the toughness. It doesn't have the wounds.
It's the same cost points. 4 las cannons instead of that heavy bolter that can shoot everything in sight.
Yeah, or potentially a heavy flamer if you know they're going to be running at you because they have to go on that point for whatever reason. you hit a horde army and it's just bam. Oh yeah, that's 12 hits instant.
I was just reading wrong way. Go back's response.
Yeah.
I've seen a great many of these Hammerfall turrets never do anything.
Yeah, and same. I've also seen that many battle reports have gone, oh.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. If they've got to come at you, it's great.
Yeah.
If that doesn't happen, then you're like, well, I could have bought a Predator or any number of other things.
It comes down to placing it well. Like if you put it in a good spot with a decent line of sight, denying an area you don't want the enemy to go, then, even if it does nothing, it will have done something because it will have changed their battle plan.
Mm.
Okay, so for me, the points make it a no. I'd rather have the Predator that can move if I need to because something's out of sight.
If it was me, I would do exactly the same thing. However, this does have value as the big shiny thing for people to shoot at, much like a Land Raider does. And this is cheaper than a Land Raider.
Yeah, it does make a great distraction card effects.
How robbed Land Raiders are at the moment. Anyway, so is that a yes, no, or maybe, Mark?
I'd put that in a maybe.
Okay, Adam.
I would say that for me, it's a yes with a Tech Marine and just like being in abundance, laughing, smiling every time someone goes near you, and you just go, man, why, especially if you're facing an orc or a horde, you just go, mate, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm dropping this.
Mike.
Yeah, look, I bought it because I intend to use it. Like,
that makes sense.
It'll happen.
and
whether or not I take a firstborn Tech Marine to sit behind it, just to sit there going,
okay,
not. I'm probably definitely going to use this at some point.
When I play you, bring it, and I will bring my orcs, and I'll just have, and I'll just, Greg's placed me when I'm going to charge that Punisher. I will charge that just for fun.
All right, here's 40 shots.
Exactly, I'll have fun.
Hey, there is drowning the enemy in your own troops' blood is a viable tactic. I've done it many times.
Exactly, that's what I mean. I would play someone that has that, and I would actually even bring a horde army just for the fun of watching it annihilate my own troop.
All right, so we're now going to Xenos again. Convergence of Dominion by the Necrons. Got to be honest, I didn't know much about this. I had to run earlier and grab my son's codex to look at it.
You have to have a look at what it looks like.
Looks cool. I have seen the model. It does look cool. So, it is 120 points. So, over that 100-point mark, which for me automatically starts going, really?
Yeah.
It does have living metal. It does have command protocols. Command protocols are like benefits they get for each turn. But the weird thing is about the protocols, you actually have to put, there's 6 of them, and you get them, but you have to put them in order what turn you're going to have them at. So you write them down on a piece of paper at the start of the game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's how it works. So turn 1 I'll have number 1, turn 3 I might have number 5, whatever. It is made of 3 parts. 3 little obelisks running around going, da-la-la, da-la-la, hello, look at me. It comes with Convergence of Dominion, Dominion Protocols, which is an aura, dynastic command node, translocation protocols. It is a building and vehicle and fortification. It has stats. 10 wounds. So it's low. It's probably the lowest wounds we've had for anything that's had a wound count. 3+ armor save, toughness 8. So it's still toughness 8. Blister skill 3. It's probably got the best blister skill out of everything so far. And its weapon is 12 inches range. It's an assault D3, strength 4, -3 AP, 3 damage each. Just that alone, 3 damage each.
Well, it is Necrons, so they are meant to hit like a truck.
Yeah. There's 3 of them, and they deploy 12 inches apart from each other.
Yeah, but the strength 4, strength 4 it hurts it.
Yeah, but it is -3 AP. If you're hitting Marine, that's a 6+ armor save for a standard Marine, and if you don't make it, you're dead. Not,
yeah.
I got 1 wound left. You're dead. It's a 4+ to wound, 3 to hit. Pretty damn
Yeah,
strong.
I mean, Strength 4 doesn't hurt anywhere near as bad as having no AP.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah,
And it is.
I'd have a Strength 4 with a -3 AP over a Strength 5 no AP any day.
And it is something you can teleport around the battlefield.
Correct. It moves and keep this clean. It stuffs you up.
Yep. Anal done fuck your shit up.
God damn it. Alright, it does give you 2+ leadership if you're within 6 inches. I think Necrons are pretty handy with their leadership, so I don't know if that's going to be much point for them. Talk while I look it up. Leadership 10.
Oh.
They're
Yeah,
normal
I mean,
guys.
like-
Oh, wow, yeah, so they're leadership 10, so they're not going to ever fail a leadership test if that's what you're depending on.
Yeah, their troops aren't that. I don't think they've got that many. I think 10 is the biggest, so you practically got to be.
I've gone through pretty much the whole book so far, and everyone's a 10.
Yeah,
Even
because
the
I
No,
was
no,
like,
no, no. I'm
It's
talking
10.
about their troop. I'm talking about their troop choices. So the amount of troops that you have would be about 10. You
All right.
your troop choice that you roll with the troops is 10 models in the troop, obviously.
I think
maybe.
Warriors went to 20, didn't they?
Oh my god! I just put the book down.
Honestly, don't know.
I don't know.
I'm pretty
I-
sure they do.
Mine's in the other room, so.
Necron Warriors. Okay, you can have a group of 10 to 20.
There you
Okay.
go.
Mortals
So-
in there up to 10. So yeah, they seem to have got a big boost. Oh,
I wouldn't think
they'd
they'd suffer too much under leadership.
No,
You've got to like
everyone is
lose
leadership 10.
9.
You would have to get absolutely mullered for that to matter.
Yeah, everyone is leadership 10. What is it? Yeah, and after every time someone's attacked you, you then do the reanimation protocol.
So there's a chance that you're going to bring more back. So at the end of the day,
don't
leadership,
know
I
if
don't
that's
think
gonna
it's going to be
help
that much of a. It's
Yeah, and if they're brought back to life, they no longer count towards the morale as losing one.
So what does the freaking command protocols thing do? Because it appears like it looks like the main thing it does is teleports around shooting things and provides a bubble of your command protocol.
Yeah, so the command protocol is that there are 6 protocols to choose from. You need to write down which order you're going to do them. So battle round 1, you might choose number 1. Battle round 2, you might choose number 6. And then there's directives in those ones. Protocol of the Eternal Guardian, for example. Each time an attack is made against this unit, if it did not make a normal move, advance, or fall back, it receives the benefit of light cover. So,
Is this something that like normally only your HQs provide a bubble of?
yes.
Is that how the army works? I haven't played Necrons in the new
I
edition.
believe that is true. That is how it works. That the
Okay, so it it gives you a bigger synapse bubble, but
Correct.
for Necrons.
And
in essence.
see,
Oh,
the
yes,
other thing,
yeah.
though, is that this teleportation thing is faction specific.
Yeah, but that I don't soup, so I don't see that as a problem.
Well, see, the thing is that
No, it's not. It's the Star Stellar are this thing. This thing is a Star Stellar,
Yeah,
and the Cryptex are the
Cryptex
weird
is
psychic
special.
guys.
Yeah,
that have.
Cryptek is a
They're
special
a unit.
character. Yeah, it's a character. Is it one of the main HQs?
The Cryptex, there's several different Cryptex, aren't there? Because they
Yeah.
used to be one, and now they're like 3 that are all Cryptex, aren't they?
Look how good we are about Necrons.
yeah,
I've got them, and I've got 2 models made up.
I shoot at them. I don't really play them.
That's it.
I got a pile of them for the new edition, but I haven't got around to doing anything with them.
Exactly. I've got them. I think I've got 3 glued, and that's
Okay,
as far
so
as I've got.
Psychomancer's Cryptek, Technomancer, Chronomancer, Plasmancer. You see any pattern here?
Yeah, they're all cryptex, yeah?
They're all
Um,
cryptex.
but
so
let's
looking
follow
at-
those guys.
cryptex.
But looking at this, I'm going to go with a no on this one. I don't think the teleportation is any good. I don't think that adding 2 to your leadership is going to be any worth the 120 points. I'm sure that you could put something else on the table that hits
So,
just as hard, if not harder, and actually can score you some points.
So protocols would be, for me, is the only benefit. I'm just looking. Okay, so Protocol Side of the Storm, add 1 movement, or directly 2 if performing action could still attack. Okay, so if trying to raise the banner, it could also still shoot if it wanted to at the same time. Unmodified roll wound of 6, AP goes up by 1. No longer benefit of cover. Yeah, some nice little tricks and trades and stuff like that, but 120 points. It's always going to be an uphill battle for me to say yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty expensive. It sounds like it would let a Necron army do some shit it wouldn't necessarily be able to normally do. And, also provide a little bit of extra covering fire for those little units moving forward with it or whatever, but it is probably a bit too expensive.
I think the 12-inch weapon is pretty damn cool.
Yeah, and I mean, there are 3 of them with that, so...
Yeah.
But as I said, at 120 points, you'd
Expensive.
almost be better off with another unit.
Yeah, I agree. So it's a no across the... Oh, Adam, what did you think?
Yeah, no, I don't see a benefit. Like, if you're just requiring it for leadership, yeah, but we've said leadership
no one
not
applies
really big
for
issues.
leadership.
Not for me.
So yeah, no, but
it's
I'm
the
just
command
saying.
protocols, I think, is the
Yeah.
main thing.
But no, not for me.
I have a box of Necrons in the corner that shall never see the light of day. We all have one of those boxes, I believe. Joker, I believe we all have one of those boxes. In fact, if you look behind Michael, there's all of those boxes.
Got to be careful if you ever open it and find it suddenly empty.
Alright, we're running to the Orcs. Look at Adam perk
Yes.
up.
Yes. Yes.
The Mech Boy Workshop, 85 points. It has no stats. It is just a piece of terrain. It is a fortification. Full stop. It has no. It's not building. It's not anything like that. You do get to do a custom job if a vehicle sits in it and does basically an action, so it doesn't do anything. It could become faster, tougher, more gunnier. Sorry, more DACA. My bad. I think it's the 3 that it can happen.
Faster, yeah.
Tougher,
More
DACA.
rivets, and then there was something else. Extra special.
Yeah, so everything can get an extra special on a D6. It might make it even better. It
Yes.
does have a grabbing claw, which you can use in a fight phase if someone's trying to fight you. On a 4+, it does make the
Yeah, but you need an orc infantry right
instead of
next to it.
normally-
Though.
Yeah, if someone else... Yeah, and it is an orc structure which does give you defense line, light cover, heavy cover, defensible, unstable position, difficult ground. So they're quite some impressive terrain pieces just for that. If you are using it, you can defend it quite well. 85 points. Discuss. In orcish. Right!
I'm going to let the other guys talk about it first.
No, get the fanboy out of the way. Come on.
All right. I actually have one. I have fielded it at least once or twice. I enjoy it. It's actually quite good. I put a battle wagon I just practically backed the battle wagon into it. So with the kill cannon, I get that's the one that's got the 72-inch range and has the 2d6. It's you don't shoot from it for the first turn, and then you just go to town for the rest of the time. But you put it right at the back, because that's where your battle wagons and stuff like that sit. But for me, for orcs, because that's the thing that's got the heavy range. I enjoyed it. It's quite a good piece of machinery. Especially you have that in there, then you have a mech boy sitting inside it with it. It automatically wounds. So if you have your plague crawler dropping onto my battle wagon, mech boy heals it for automatically 3 wounds straight away on top. So it has the bonuses. if you're willing to park your scrambler jets and stuff like that in there for one turn, you give it the custom job of the extra movement, and next thing it's got more greater advance and greater charge, so it has the bonuses as well.
So,
the extra movement
so would you
is
say
movement
it's
down.
worth?
Sorry.
85 points to
Well,
get a guaranteed 12 shots.
Yeah, but
That's-
you're also taking away a turn of shooting effectively.
Yeah.
You're only taking one unit
Yeah.
away. So
you're losing a turn of shooting on that unit in exchange for doing maximum shots next turn.
for the rest of the turns.
And is
not,
that
not necessarily for every turn? It's just the next turn, isn't it?
Just checking
Unless you
out.
roll a
Next turn
6.
You get speed. More rivets, D3 wounds. That's if the Big Mac's there.
Yeah, it's only permanent if it's extra special, isn't it?
Extra special gets you something different.
Now, extra special for it.
Like
You-
you can get a D6. You can get a +1 toughness. More DACA. Next time the model shoots that weapon, it goes the maximum number of shots. So if it's 2d6, it will fire 12 shots.
Yeah.
And
it
if
could
the extra
get
special, you roll a d6, you get a 6. It says add 1 to the chosen weapon damage characteristics for the rest of the battle.
for the rest of the battle. But the rest of the benefits are only for one turn, unless you roll a 6.
Yes.
Like the movement thing is like, you are faster, roll a 6, on a 6, you get +1 for the rest of the battle. Like it says, until the end of your next movement phase, you get faster, etc., etc. The next time it fires, it gets max shots.
and
So you're kind of
So-
missing every second turn with it if you're going to keep rolling those benefits.
If you're doing it on the same vehicle, yeah.
But at the end of the
and that's
day,
where you sit there and go, well, it's 85 points, and I lose potentially. Like if you've got good dice, potentially you could make that anyway.
But at the end of the day, orcs have got a 5+ ballistic skill, so
Which means half the time they hit.
it should be half the time they hit
orcs,
themselves.
you know how this works.
I know that, but still, at the end of the day, the chance of parking something every turn 2 and 4, for example, you're going to get max shots. To me, having one unit sitting at the back, knowing 2 rounds, and place a mech boy to heal it if it does take some damage, there's a chance that it's going to survive. Place it next to ejector marker, the battle wagon next to it. It's like the bunker. It's one of those embuggerance things that if you put it in there, it's got heavy cover, so it's going to be pretty hard for something to hit. And on 5+, I'm happy to lose 1 and 3 shooting for one unit because my boys are trying to tie you up.
Well,
And-
the other question goes that 85 points of boys that you could be putting on the table.
But boys kind of like just get melted anyway. So, killer cans are quite expensive these days as well. But yeah, I have parked my battle wagon with the kill cannon and just sat back and lost one, lost it. So, but not lost it, but per round, I didn't shoot, but I'm going to max shot next round.
I think it'd be really useful if you got first turn and there was nothing for you to shoot at.
Yeah.
Playing like GSC or something, some bullshit where they're hiding.
Yeah. Alright, I got first turn. I can't actually do anything. I will just make myself cool. And then you pop out and go, thank you, here's your face. Put it where you somewhere else. Yeah.
I'm just trying to find my battle wagon. I don't have a list made, but where's Come on Orcs?
But yeah,
But yeah,
I mean,
Orcs
it is under 100 points, which puts it sort of as that kind of easier sell.
and you could put boys in there. If you had some looters back there, they're the heavy weapons, right? They're still. Have I still got that right? And they would still. If you put looters in there,
Yep.
they would get the light cover, heavy cover, defensible. So for them, it becomes a place that they've got some cover. They wouldn't get the benefit of the custom job, but you've now got some protection. It depends If you're out in the open, it doesn't matter because you can't destroy the mech shop.
Yeah.
It's already stuffed up by the mech boy himself. I think the custom job, I'm not sure if I want him to lose a turn. I think lose a turn and get 6-inch extra move my next turn makes no sense.
For that one, it's not really worth it.
Yeah.
Are there many like orc vehicles that have single use variable shot weapons? Something like that, it'd be really useful to buff.
Not really. There's not like a one-off shot. But
there's a bunch of armies that have shit like that. If my fucking dickheads with their blasting charges, if I could guarantee that got a max damage, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah. So Wrong Way Back has made a good point. One turn of no shooting and 1 turn of max shooting. Isn't that equal to 2 turns of average shooting? I do get that because if you're doing 2d6 shots, all right.
But you also have the potential for movement as well in that too.
It depends what you have to choose. You have to choose either movement, shooting. What's the other one?
I mean, the big thing with the shooting is that it's the next time you fire. It's not next turn. So if it's something that has a very short range, you can do it and then it can move off, find a position where its maximum shooting is going to be fucking horrifying and unleash it.
Mm.
I feel that
so
you're paying
it could be better.
I feel you're trying to get the special upgrades, the toughness.
Oh yeah, you definitely want those special upgrades. Yeah. What you need is yourself some green sisters. You need some green sisters to bring you those miracle dice.
Yeah, good. We're on the same page.
So if you look at it this way, you drop you park your Morkanaut right next to it.
Yeah,
right?
I was thinking about that. It wouldn't get any of the benefits of the light cover, heavy cover because it's too big. It's Titanic.
Yeah, that's fine, but it gets a custom Mega Zapper, which it's 36 inches. It's a 3d3, 8 shot, strength 8, -3 d6 damage.
Yeah.
Max shots at that, it's going to hurt.
I reckon just putting the +1 toughness on a Mork or Gork would, make people cry a little.
Toughness 8 already, so plus
really
that.
Toughness 9, that'd be fine.
Yeah, and it's also so
until
you
I
have
pull
that
the magnifier on it and you lose 1 toughness, it'd be great.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Just that having that you're going to get guaranteed 9 shots at 36 inches -3 d6. That's going to hurt.
So it's a big yes from Adam, clearly.
Absolutely.
Mark?
Again, I sort of put this as a bit of a maybe. I can see where it'd be really, really useful, especially if you've got one of those flaky units where, like, an example, frag missiles. How many times have you sat and rolled a d6 and gotten 1 or 2 shots, even when you're shooting at like 1 billion, things?
Yeah.
So being able to have a turn where you can guarantee that you've basically got a magnum shot there.
Yeah, and especially, because there are going to be turns sometimes where you can't see anything, depending on what's going on the battlefield.
Yeah, and early in the game, that is more likely than later in the game.
Yeah.
So I'd put it as a situational thing. I don't know if I'd want that all the time.
As I said, with the, I would actually put my Morkanaut in there. It's got big shooters. It's got a zap. It's got like 3 or 4 weapon profiles that shoot. Yeah. Knowing that all those hit maximum things.
Well, it according to this thing, you can only pick one weapon that.
So
does
you do your strength one, your big one, but still it's
your most variable.
Yeah, but for me, I've already said yes.
Yeah, let other people speak. Let other people speak. Good words.
Sorry, Dad.
It's so orky. I have to say yes. But I can
I mean,
see
it looks
you'll
cool.
get some benefits from if you get first turn, you've got nothing to shoot at. Perfect. If you got nothing to shoot at next turn that's coming up, great. And if you really got desperate, you could fly back because they're pretty quick. Jumpers can move back and forth to go back and heal if you needed to make if you wanted to really make it live. It's very unorky, but you could.
Your mech boy is not really the best shooter.
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah, look, if I was playing orcs, I'd probably certainly fuck around with these. It's an interesting idea.
Yeah, it's very orky. It's hard to say no.
It's very, very, very fluff oriented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking
We're
of
just
fluff,
going to fix it up good.
that makes no sense. It's a towel. Now,
You're a towel.
Free. Does that mean there's a Taliban? No, there's
Well,
three.
They're kind of. I always thought they were like one thing, weren't they?
Yeah,
But yeah. There's
They're
three different things that are very
different
similar, aren't they?
things. Yeah. So the Tidewall drone port's 275 points. The gun rig is 125 points, and the shield line is 75 points.
I remember when they first came out, way back when, they were considered a bit dumb and bullshit because of the way they could like move around and the things on them were still stationary and could shoot or something. But I don't think they do that anymore.
No.
But I remember when they first came out,
so-
people were very excited by them being a bit broken.
They can't move unless they have someone on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the big difference. You can put drones in the drone war thing; it explodes. That's a plus. I got to admit, I didn't read much up against the tower because I do go sort of blank-eyed when I read tower.
I read it, but I'm not seeing anything here that was worth the 275 points.
No, absolutely not. But saying that, the gun rig one for 125 points does have the Supremacy Railgun, which is 72 inches, heavy 2, strength 10, minus 4 AP. And every time you roll a 6, it suffers D through mortal wounds in additional to the D6 wounds.
Fucking railguns, man.
Yeah, so that hurts.
But it's a 5+.
Yeah.
But still,
It is still a 5+, correct. It can carry troops. It can move 6 inches when it's carrying troops.
However, the troops do count as having moved under their open top rule.
Yeah, probably.
So you
Yeah. It is a fortification. We know. Now, this is an old book, so we know this, right?
there's not a lot of benefit here for the points, as far as I can see.
No, you can combine the railgun with the shield line, which then does give you the 6+. What was it? For every unmodified save roll of 6, you make it the shooting phase. For a Tide War, the attacker suffers 1 mortal wound.
Yeah. And I can see that being potentially really good if you've got somebody shooting at you with a shit ton of DACA.
Well, that's 75 points just for that shield line.
And
It's the cheapest one
And
so
that's-
far.
And that's the problem is, though, that once you're at that, why wouldn't you get some extra modifications on your crisis suits or something?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know enough about Tau to help you on that one, but it is a 6+ mortal wound. No, it's unmodified, so even if you needed a 7 to save, you'd still be rolling that dice. If you roll a 6, you're stuffed too.
Because, I mean, I know Big Dave bought this,
Yeah.
and I think he used it once and found it was just a complete waste of points, because the thing is so massive that you can't really move it anywhere. And, and it really did him no good.
Fair enough. It doesn't tell us much. It is open top, but it is old, so it doesn't really give us much indication of what else it does. It might change in the new book. So the only one I would consider would be the shield line for 75 points, just for that 6+.
Yeah, I mean, like the drone port thing, I mean, yes, you can increase the ballistic skill of your drones by putting like an infantry unit in there potentially.
Yeah.
But it's not worth the
200.
What, the drone port? The drone port is 75 on its own. And yeah,
I see what I've
just
done
can't.
there. Yeah.
I just
Alright,
can't
not
see
bad.
that for a unit of drones to get +1 ballistic skill. I just can't see someone spending 75 points for that. It's like that's stupid. And 125 for the railgun. You're better off buying a tank for that.
Yeah, I think that the fact that none of us can think of any Tau players who use them, and they've been out for ages.
Yeah.
And I know people who have them and still don't use them.
Yeah.
Adam?
So, yeah, no, big fat no for that for all the Tau stuff.
Or just for the Tidewall shield line, just for the price of the model is a no, like not points, but the dollar value is a big no for me as well.
Looks cool, but
Oh, it looks cool,
Yeah.
but the price of it is like, wow.
Fair enough. All right, that was easy. Tau are easy. We'll see
Yeah.
what happens when they get a new book. It might actually change. It might actually be relevant.
Possible.
Last one, is it? It is.
That was the last one.
No, G Silicol.
Oh, yes.
the
The,
tectonic frag drill.
The Tectonic Frag Drill, 80 points. It is.
Honestly, I haven't seen the stats on that
That's
one.
right. Oh, I've got them in front of me. How's that? Does it help you? They have no stat line. All right. Their abilities: activate the drill, sector mechanica structure, underground ingress. Michael, you want to talk about it because it's yours?
Well, basically, you can get a infantry or black unit that's near it, and you can pull them out. If they have the cult ambush, you can pull them out and deep strike them to somewhere else. So, at the end of your movement phase, you set them up somewhere else.
They make tunnels.
And the activate the drill thing is if you've got a model on it, they can turn it on and you roll dice. And if you don't roll well, then there's like a tremor thing near the drill, reducing charge ranges and shit near the drill. Or if you roll really well, you get to draw a line to a point on the table and fuck everything up over that.
Okay, so seismic quake, the draw a straight line, 1 millimeter in thickness, measure it. Any point, one battle edge to another battle edge. Roll a d6 for every unit that crosses that. 4 plus d3 model wounds.
And half movement.
And half movement. If it's a seismic tremor, subtract 2 from your charge rolls that are within 12 inches of it. And it does not apply to fly units, of course.
So yeah, like I figured the main thing for it is redeploying units, being a prick. Because that's what Gene Stealer Cult are all about, just bloody bringing things up out of the ground, redeploying shit, being a pain. It's an interesting idea. I haven't bought one yet, but I am tempted to buy one.
Yeah, so it does count as Sector Mechanicus terrain feature, so who's got their book out so they can find out what the things do for that. So only Beast Swarms Infantry can use it.
I think that's because it's an old codex.
Yeah, good point.
Like the whole Sector Mechanicus structure
because it talks
thing.
about getting 50% cover, so that makes no sense. That's
Yeah.
Okay. If your army is okay, at the end of your movement phase, there are no enemy models on it. You can activate the drill. If you do so, roll a d6 for every unit on the ground level that is within 3 inches of the tip of the model's large drill. Don't get close to the tip. On a d6 model wounds. There you go. And
Yeah,
that's
okay,
how
so
you
when you do the drill, you do actually hurt things near the drill. I forgot that.
and then you can make
That's a
tunnels.
feels like a very edge case, though.
Didn't AdMech Imperial Knights have a thing? You can let us know what it is. I couldn't find
Oh, there was like a sacristan shrine that the knights had like a repairy thing.
it. Oh, that's a big... Oh, you do ring a bell. You can ring my bell. The knights, was it?
I completely forgot about that. Yeah, the sacristan forge shrine.
Yeah, that sounds familiar, because I even may have a...
What does that
printed
do
rip-off of
again?
that. That's not...
I think that's the one that gives, yeah.
Is it the knights?
You can, if you have a knight near it at the end of your phase, the knight can do a thing. If it does, it doesn't shoot or charge. one attack while it's doing it. You can repair it, you can reload it, and you can refuel it. So if you reload it, it gets back all its one-use missiles and stuff.
Sacris's Forge Shrine. Okay, I'm having a look at it now. So,
And
back to the Gene Stealer one.
It gets the bloody orc one.
Ha.
Sorry, yeah.
The Orc one. No, not the Orc one. The Gene Stealer cult.
Yeah.
We did talk about the webway. That was the first one we talked about wrong way. We can go back to it very quickly. It was all no's from us. So yeah, well, Gene Stealer cult. What was it, 80 points?
80 points. I'm going to go with a no.
Yeah, I've got a no, but I'd like to see what it looks like in the new codex.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tempted to buy one and try and use it because Gene Stealer Cult are all about being a pain in the ass. It'd be fun to do.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be competitive.
Adam.
It's a no for me.
No. And apparently we now have a Knights one.
Yeah, the Sacristan Forge Shrine. Much like the Orc thing, if you forego your stuff while you're next to it, then you can get a thing. You can get repaired, you can get reloaded, which is back all your one-use shield breaker missiles, which we all know Greg loves. And
No, I don't. It's not true.
if it doesn't have shield breaker missiles, or if it's already got all of them, you can instead choose to give its weapon gets max shots thing to one of its weapons for its next attack.
Extra special.
Yeah, you can. Well, not extra special, the normal one where its next attack does maximum shots with one weapon. Or you can refuel it, which means its move characteristic goes up by 6 in your next movement phase. Very similar to the Orc one.
It's very similar. You just don't have the bonus +1 toughness or something like that.
And how many points?
85.
That
which is cheap
would,
for Knights.
I think that would probably be actually really good for Knights.
I think
Getting back those missiles, like those missiles cost a bunch of points, and they are a pain in the ass. Greg can tell you how much he hated me firing those missiles at him.
we could do a whole
Imagine,
podcast
Greg,
on
if
that.
they never ran out.
Yeah, if you put it into perspective of, you know how we keep saying, well, you could probably put something else for 85 points. If you're running Knights,
Not for the Knights,
can't.
no.
It's the cheap thing that you fill out your list with.
If I've got
Yeah.
85 points left to go, I'm putting that in there. Yeah, so it does lead to a yes for me, and that's based on everything else is too expensive for Knights to really say, how do you not if I got that 100 points left over?
Yeah, same.
Good,
Yeah,
guys.
it's actually not bad.
It's pretty good. So the difference between the Orc one is for that same points, there's a squad of greenskins running around. Yeah,
Yeah,
but,
you're much more likely to have like 80 odd points laying around in a
Yeah.
Knight army that you can't necessarily spend.
Wrong Way Go Back says he has Gene Stealers and would never run the drill.
That's fair.
There you go. So just a quick recap for you, Wrong Way. For the Webway, we said no. It was based on... Why did we say no?
Just for
Because
the speed of the models and stuff, how fast they move around.
Yeah, mostly it was they're a very mobile army and it makes them mobile, which they don't really need.
Yeah.
But I thought it would be interesting to fuck with someone by like blinding where are you going to go?
Yeah.
You know?
I think it only works if you have two, if you got that way. But
Yeah, you can take 2. Or just hide a big unit you didn't want to get munched.
and
then jump it out later.
To do that, though. 200 points
Yeah.
to say, good luck.
Yeah, it seemed like a poor use of points.
Yeah, like I said, it wasn't competitive. I think it would be something you could do to someone.
Spears or something instead, you'd be good to go. So that is
I'd
all.
love to
Unless
see
someone else
somebody else
thinks
do it.
there's another fortification that's specific to a faction that we've forgotten. And if you say something, go away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We've looked at 11 fortifications. I'm putting all the tower ones as one
And most
Yeah.
of them have been not worth it.
Well, let's have a look.
Yeah.
Webway. Out of the 4, we have 4 no's. The Necroth, what was it called?
Noctilith.
Noctilith Crown. We have 4 maybes across the road. So I think it's dependent on what you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
The Null Maul. We had 1 yes. That's you, Michael. I'm looking at you, but you can't tell. The Magnifier, Miasmic Malignifier. We have 3 yeses and a maybe. I reckon that's a give me. Come on. Battle Sanctum. We've all said yes. 80 points. Gives you that bonuses and miracle dice. It sounds great.
Those miracle dice, man.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hammerfall.
Right up until the FAQ comes and nerfs them.
Hammerfall, we got 2 yeses, a maybe, and a no. For me, it was just too expensive. But Michael and Adam said, yeah, that will piss off everyone. I'm taking it.
Sometimes it's fun to fuck with your opponent.
It's not always bad. Am I actually going to get more points out of it, or I'm just going to piss someone off?
There's like one game where I brought like four keepers and a named character. Well, that's a bit of a wank one.
The
I have them.
Convergence of Dominion, is that what it's called? Yep. Let's go for that. Flat out nose. It looks awesome. Gotta say, it looks awesome. If anyone who's watching has any reasons to say that we should be changing our minds, speak up now or forever hold your peace. For our word is Lord and Almighty until you say different. How's that? Until the next episode where we retract everything. The Mech Boy.
No, we'll ride that ship into the ground.
Yeah. The Mech Boy. We have 3 yeses and a maybe. So I'm going to go with 4 yeses because it's orcs. You can't not have it. Tau. Moving on. We've gone all no's across the board for Taos. Gene Stealer Cult. We've got 1 yes. Michael, justify yourself.
I think he just wants to buy it.
I'm the only Gene Stealer player.
Well, Long Way said no.
Yeah, well, I didn't hear him say that.
I must have had a soundboard.
No, because everyone's going to be.
And we've got the night one, which we've gone yes across the board because it's
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
relatively cheap compared to the rest of the army. And what it can do can annoy a lot of people as well as heal. Simple. But I think, what have we got? So that was no, that was a maybe, that was basically a no. Yes, that was a yes. There's a lot more yeses than no's across the board.
There was also a
everything
lot
else.
of yeah.
Alright, so how many say? 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 yeses out of the 11 faction specialty units. So definitely, there were more no's. But Mark, you predicted at the start, you said you reckon there'll be no across the board for most of them, for you personally. What do you think now? Because you have yeses in here.
I do have yeses in there.
So you lied to us.
Or maybes.
Peer pressure is a wonderful
which
thing.
has so I'm less negative than I was.
Yeah.
But still mostly negative.
All right, and Adam, you should have caught up by now. It is 2 hours behind, so we're just...
Well, that's why my net dropped out.
Yeah. Your thoughts? You thought? I don't think we actually asked what you think it would be at the start. Do you think it would be that sort of? It's not in 50-50.
I have played fortifications, obviously for orcs and stuff like that. If I see a benefit for it, yeah, I will put them in there. That's what I mean with the bunker. If I had it, why not play it? But I'd actually tell the person that I was playing, by the way, I'm bringing a bunker.
Yeah. I guess that's one thing we didn't ask. Would you go out and buy it? Because would I go out and buy a bunker? No, I wouldn't. Michael, you already got one, so of course you want to put it on the table. I've got
I
Miasmic.
would probably go out and buy the bunker. Like some of those models,
I
do
like the look
do
of them.
look good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
for painting, yes.
I if I did buy one, I would just treat it as a piece of terrain. I wouldn't actually spend the points on it.
Okay.
That would be
Well, yeah,
that-
like several of them make a fine piece of terrain.
yeah.
You know, you don't count them for all of their benefits.
Yeah, objectively, they're brilliant pieces of terrain, but I do question the value of spending 75 to 175 and points on them.
Yeah. Michael, your thoughts after we're looking at it now? We've only got
Well,
5
like,
yeses.
A lot of the criticisms for a lot of these units came down to what was kind of touched on right at the start by Mark, which was they're all stationary fortifications, and that relates to 9th edition. It's a very mobile edition, so a fortification is intrinsically less useful in this edition. So they need to be really fucking good to be worth using, basically, which is probably why you don't see them, because they're so antithetical to the way the edition plays.
Yeah.
But some of them have interesting little quirks, and if you like buying cool models and if you like using things you have, and you're going to use them.
Yeah. Just going by that, there was 4 that are from new books.
And those were the better ones, weren't they?
We got a yes, 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 and no. So the Necron one got the no, but the Bunker, the Battle Sanctum, and the Miasmic Malignifier got a yes.
Which, to be fair, could be because none of us play Necrons. If one of us was a Necron player, we might have been like, of course you'd take that. What the fuck's wrong with you? So,
It's past my
Yeah.
son's bedtime,
maybe
so I
we're
can't go
missing
ask him.
something there.
There will be somebody shouting at their screen over us.
Yeah.
Nope. For me, yeah, I can see why we said yes to the ones we did, and that is mainly the Magnifier Battlescar. I was surprised that you said yes to the Hammerfall, because I've watched battle reports where they put it in it, and the person who even put it in there said, I don't want it here, but it's here. So, it was interesting. Saying all that, I've never put a fortification down in any battle in all the years I've played. Never put one in my force. So
I used to use the what's he? I mentioned it at the start. The Sky Shield array.
Yeah.
The defensive line.
Yeah, the
with
Aegis thing
with
or
the
whatever.
gun. The Aegis defensive line. That's the one. I used to use the Aegis defensive line back in the day because it
You're
was
so
really
ageist.
good. Sorry?
You're so ageist. Yeah.
This is my Aegis defensive line. We call it the boomer remover.
That's it. I like it. Excellent.
These days, it'd probably be your broom. It sweeps the young'uns off your lawn.
Get out of my fucking hobby room, kids.
Yeah, old school flock on it. It'd be great. Alright. So, it'd be interesting to see what happens now. Because I want to see this Hammerfall that you've all said yes to. I want to see this on the field. So, go get it. I have my Miasmic Magnifier, so that's fine. You have your mech house. Apparently, you got a mech house. It's not a
Mech house.
Yeah, the mech house. Sure.
I thought you were talking to me for a minute. I was like, yeah, actually, I do think I have the piece of terrain, the Sacristan Forge Shrine.
Wonderful. So there you go, folks. That is us talking about the specific factions. And thank you for pointing out the ones we forgot.
Yeah, well, the last Bastion's one of them.
Do your homework, Mark. Come on.
Homework.
I had to rush home tonight, and my wife asked me to do so. I said, no, I've got homework for this episode. I can't do it. Yeah. I do want to say thank you for everyone joining in. Thank you very much, Wrong Way, Joker, and all the crew who did hang around and gave us comments throughout the episode. And thank you very much for the subscriptions. Wow, that's amazing. That helps us keep this podcast going, because we do have some costs to do that. which is fantastic. And look, people bought mugs and T-shirts. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. That's brilliant. It's probably it was Adam and but it's not the point. I can't wait. It's going to be good. It's not going to be delivered to Perth, mate. You'll have to come back.
Oh, I just got him come back tomorrow.
So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it, folks?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Chatting shit.
Chatting shit.
Mm-hmm.
It must be. It's one of our longest episodes we've ever done.
Oh yeah, I was trying to get a bit of a hurry on in some of the later ones. It's like, wow, we've been going for a while.
No, that time that was like really long, we got raided right like as we were wrapping up, and we kept going.
Oh, just
Don't say it.
Looking around. No. Again, thank you very much for everyone who joined in. I really appreciate that. We will be back next month, of course, for the next episode 41. We don't have a topic yet. Stay tuned. We're always open. If you have an issue that you want us to talk about in 40k, let us know, and we'll probably go, that's a silly topic. Sure, we'll do it, because that's what we do.
Maybe we'll do the weird rules one.
Yes, I brought that up at one point. We should talk about the weird rules that don't
I
make
put
any
it in
sense.
there.
And it keeps getting brought up. That's one of the things. And I did finally say, give me 10 of them, so we get at least something to work with. There you go. That's good.
I was like, I could have given you 2 immediately, but I was busy. I think I was busy playing 40k when you asked that question.
I remember when I came into my head at that point, I had certain rules that popped in my head. Yeah, that makes no sense. I can't remember what they were now.
At any rate, we'll be less stats heavy next month.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much, folks. We are going to go because it is late, and it's late. All right.
It is.
Good night, folks. Good night from me.
Everybody.
Good night from Adam.
Good night.
Good night from Mark.
Bye.
And good night from Michael.
Good night.
And the radio version.
I was actually about to, and then I started laughing. No thanks, I bought my own! Yeah, if this terrain isn't for everyone, that's because it's faction-specific. It's all a bit hit or miss, really, but some of them are pretty tempting. So join us next month for more Wobbly Player Syndrome!